All right, we've got the audio. We are live. We are live. How great. Let us move these flowers over. Let's see. So that you can see the flowers right there. You can see them a little bit more here. The flowers. Right there you go. And let's delete 2031 from the date. Very well. They are precious, these flowers are, and let us begin. Very well. Shabbat Shalom, my most esteemed friends, honorable judges, LVE tribe, as well as everyone else accompanying us. On this rather precious day of Shabbat, in which we are coming back to normality of all Shabbats, which has been 2 weeks already, that we have not been able to go. Well, it's the second week. Previous week we couldn't go outside because of all the problems that all of you already know. We couldn't go live. There wasn't any fires here, but they would cut our electricity preventively. They've never done it for such a long time. It was like 3 days with no light. They would give it back, they'd take it away, they'd give it back. Of course, with no light, there's no internet, there's absolutely nothing. And the company that was giving us internet, but we've been doing great. Then afterwards, we didn't even want for the lights to come back because we were doing so well with our whole lineage and having fun because we were prepared for being able to fare off well without light. Then the light came back, then they took it away, they give it back, take it away, take it back, so then we could not go live last Shabbat, but we are back today, back to normality, which we were missing you, and maybe you missed us also, but here we are back again. Here we go again. Here we go again. Very well, today it is Shabbat, Tevet, the 18th, the 10th month of the year 5993 from creation, this being the 18th day of January of the year 2025 in the Gregorian calendar, in which we shall study yet another chapter of the Spirit of the Feast's 15th, which of course, aside from the feast, aside from the Spirit of the feast, we talk about many other diverse subjects which help us in this reality or surreality, whichever which way you want to call it, in this world in which we live in. Without any further ado, let us initiate with a word of prayer. Our Father that art in heaven, we give you thanks for this Shabbat. We give you thanks because we can be live again. We give you thanks because you allow us and you have placed us to live in this last stage of humanity, and we are actually wishing to see your hand so that all the promises, prophecies that you have left written be fulfilled. All this we thank you for, and we continue on waiting for you to act in your precious name, YHWH. Alleluia. Yahweh has blessed with one more year of life the following members of the eternal truth. We've got 2 weeks, so then I'm going to start with last week, in which we didn't go live. We'll start with those. Stephen Duque Arando, Spain. Luan David Rocumbach, Brazil. Dalia Yvonne Kiech, Guatemala. Jaci Machor Silveira, Brazil. And Angelina Victoria Silva, and we had her birthday excellent, super fun, without any lights, but actually it was very well, and there was no light during the feast, right? But it was super excellent, super fun. So then, thank you for, in her name on behalf, which I don't know where she is. Let's see, she somewhere around. But in her, on her behalf, I give you thanks to all of you who have sent her some sort of gift or present or some sort of help. She is very much thankful to every one of you. Many thanks, and I remind you that she has a free service that's spectacular for those that need it. So then, in her name, we had an excellent birthday, and many thanks to all those that did not forget about her. They did not even forget, and they sent her messages and posts of happy birthday. Many, many thanks to every one of you. The birthdays of this week: Astrid Ramos Hernandez, Mexico; Dani Hernandez, Venezuela; Francisco Lopez, Mexico; Isis Correa Cortez, Nicaragua; Diana Claudia Primo, Argentina; Adriano Matsuyama, Japan; Cristian Astudillo, Chile; Jimena Ramos, Mexico; Sonia Perdomo de Yepes, Venezuela; Beatriz Antonio Hernandez, Mexico. To each and every one of you, and to everyone that I've named before, a great big hug on behalf of all of us, and we hope that you have had a very happy birthday, and may it be the last one under this government. That is our wish. Last greeting: people that are MIA, we have not seen any action on their behalf. They have not signed the LVE decree of Yom Kippur, and so we believe that they no longer listen to us. If I'm wrong, then let me know, but I will read their names. Reina Vasquez, the US of A; Edson Iram Alejandro Kiech, Guatemala; Lino Garza, the US of A; Moussa Gassama, France; Yanela Veraun, Waman, Peru, or Waman. I don't know how it's pronounced in Peru. Nancy Esmeralda Bernal, the US of A; Fernanda Pascal Quesada Exmont, Chile; Jose Gallardo, Argentina; Adi Perez, the US of A; Orianis Isamar Linares, Colombia; and Mario Antonio Valenzuela Ruelas, Mexico. To each and every one of you, a great big hug, a very happy birthday. We hope that you have had an excellent birthday in the best way possible. But since you are MIA, missing in action, we just took you out of the list of birthdays. You didn't come out of any other place, just out of the list of our birthdays. Nothing serious, but since you're no longer listening to us, either way, we send you a happy birthday. Very well. Shema Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Ekhad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our God, Yahweh, is one alone. This is the main truth in order to be able to understand and to start to take away the cover from Scripture. Without this truth, we cannot take anything away. The Scripture is left as is. One reads and understands what is written, but not the spirit thereof. And that is how all the religions that exist, or the religious groups, the individuals that do not belong to anything, but they have their own interpretation, are left contained and trapped without being able to penetrate into the secrets of the Scripture unless they start to apply this rule that allows, doesn't open everything, but allows for you to understand it. If you don't have this truth, then you cannot see anything. From the moment in which you believe that there is another being that's a son or a co-equal in heaven, and that one sent the other to earth, and that there were two simultaneously, one on earth 2,000 years ago, one on earth, and in heaven they would call him a father, who was down here would call him a son. If you believe that, you are enclosed in a never-ending maze without being able to understand anything. You will have
Tu forma de pensar,
your way of thinking, you will develop your faith based on that, but it is not a faith in something that's true. Faith can be authentic of yours because you deposit all of your hope, but you deposit it into something that does not exist because of not having understood the first rule. This is the first rule of the game. This is a game. A table game. The flat table is the world. God is the owner and the main player. We are also players. And if we don't know how to play this game, then we lose. What do we lose? The opportunity of understanding, the opportunity of doing great things, the opportunity of concluding the game as winners. That is what we lose. But everyone is playing, and everyone will get to an end. Either way, this is still a game. Difficult to play it, but how beautiful it is to understand that it's just a game, and to give it much less importance to this life of what humans generally give it, and they hold on desperately to this board game without understanding that it's just a game. That actually it's got its different stages, its conclusions, its losses, and its gains. When we see it that way, and we become experts in this game, we can be able to understand the way of playing that the creator of this game has. If we achieve to understand the way of playing and the intentions of the creator of this game, then we can play per se in conjunction with him, knowing what he'll move, knowing how he moves everything, what is the pattern of his movements. Then we adapt. When we think that it's three owners of this or two, you'll never be able to understand the player. It is one main player, which is him, and the rest are we. And that is the truth that can make you free. The Mashiach said in John 8:31-32, then Yeshua said, the Mashiach, unto the Jews that had believed on him, if ye were to remain in my word, then ye shall truly be my disciples, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. What is the truth? What is the truth that we have to know? The truth that we have to know, the first one of all, is that there's only one God. And if there's only one God, then the whole Messiah promised, everything that has to do with the Son of God and everything else is summed up clearly into humanity, and not being outside of this humanity. The Christians, the Jews, and other religions that there's no need to mention now to check them, they believe that there is something foreign to them that will save them. So then they deposit all of their faith into something that something could be a trinity. It could be one sole God like the Jews, or it could be like some variations of Christianity, two beings. But they deposit all of their faith, Christianity generally, along with Messianics and all the rest, they deposit it in a being that they believe that is God, and they believe that does not live at our level, because he has a different nature, divine nature. He's not a human being, which is the one that will save them from their problems. And they place all of their hope, their life, into a third. Everything that takes place with them will be because that being either saves them or condemns them. That being will be the judge that will give them
una vida eterna
an eternal life
en algún lugar,
at some point in time,
o una muerte
or a death,
o un
or
sufrimiento
an
eterno,
eternal
dos
suffering,
opciones.
both options.
O una
Either
aniquilación
an
eterna
eternal annihilation
o una vida
or a life,
terrorífica que no
a
entra ni en nuestra
terrific
mente,
life that doesn't
eterna
even,
de
we can't
dolor,
even fathom, that's eternal, of
sin
pain,
poder salir
without
de ahí.
being able to
Todo eso
escape from there. All that
lo hace ese ser,
is done by that
ese
being,
Cristo.
that Christ.
De ahí viene el nombre,
That is where we
la
get the name
cristiandad. Ellos
Christianity.
tienen la fe
They have their
solamente
faith
en
only
Cristo,
in Christ,
ni siquiera en
not
Dios
even
Padre,
in God
en
the Father,
Cristo.
but in Christ.
Lo que pasa es
What happens
que
is
si hubieran
that if
entendido
they had
que hay
understood
un solo Dios,
that there's only one God,
se hubieran dado cuenta
they would
que
have
no puede
noticed
haber
that
un
there
Cristo con
cannot
él
be
en
a
este momento.
Christ with him at
Se
this point in
tendrían que haber
time.
dado
They would have
cuenta que
they
un Dios creador
must have
no puede
noticed
ser el
that a God
Cristo
creator
ungido.
cannot be the anointed Christ.
Se tendrían que haber dado
They had to
cuenta
have noticed,
con todas las citas
with
bíblicas
all
a
of
la
the
vez en la
biblical
mente,
quotes
sin
in time
citarlas,
in your mind without quoting them,
de que
that
dos seres coeternos
two co-eternal beings,
coiguales,
co-equal,
ultra
ultra
todopoderosos,
all-powerful,
no le puede decir uno
they
al
cannot
otro,
one tell the other,
tu trono,
your
oh
throne,
Dios,
O God.
has amado la
You have
justicia
loved justice
y has aborrecido la
and
maldad.
abhorred wickedness.
eso,
That is why
Tu Dios
your God
te hace un Dios.
makes you a God.
Eso es
That right there
una payasada
is a clown act.
absolutamente ilógica,
Completely illogical.
algo
Something
degradante de
that's
solo
degrading
pensarlo,
of
que
just
dos seres
thinking
coiguales,
about it, that
uno se
two
lo diga al otro.
co-equal
Hey, te
beings, one
felicito,
tells the other,
te
hey,
felicito.
congratulations,
Me has
I
demostrado a mí
congratulate you. You have
de que
demonstrated to me
amaste
that you have
la
loved
justicia
justice
y aborreciste la
and you
maldad.
abhorred wickedness.
Se lo dice un Dios que no
He
creó
tells it to a
nada,
God
a un
that
Dios
didn't
que
believe,
creó.
that
Porque
didn't
todos
create
los
anything, to
cristianos
one that
dicen
did create, because
Jesús
all the
creó
Christians
todo.
say that Jesus created
Entonces
everything.
el Padre,
So then
que
the
no
Father,
creó,
which
y
did
algunos
not
ponen
create,
como
and
co-creador,
one place him
pero
as a
la Biblia es muy
co-creator,
clara que
but
dice
life
que
is very
ese
clear that says
supuesto
that that
Cristo creó
supposed
todo,
Christ created everything.
le dice, te
Says,
felicito,
I
te
congratulate you.
felicito,
I congratulate you.
pasaste la
You
prueba,
have passed the test.
pasaste la prueba.
You have passed the test.
Realmente
You
me has
actually
demostrado
have
a mí
demonstrated to me
de que
that
tú
you
amas más la
love justice
justicia
more
que otra cosa.
than anything else.
Y aborreces la
And you
maldad.
abhor
Ahora,
wickedness.
gracias
Now,
por la prueba que
thank you for the
pasaste.
test that you,
Ahora
thanks
yo
to the
te
test
voy a
that you
hacer un
passed,
Dios.
now I'm going to make you a God.
No, pero no era
No,
yo
but
Dios
wasn't I
antes.
already a God?
Sí, pero es para que
Yes,
ellos entiendan.
but it's so that they
A partir de ahora,
understand. From here on
siéntate
out,
en tu trono, oh
sit
Dios.
in your
Pero
throne,
yo
oh
no era un
God.
Dios.
But wasn't
Esto
I
es
a
más
God
que una
already?
actuación estúpida.
This is
Es una
more than
payasada.
just a stupid act.
Pero
It's a
van a
clown
haber
act.
millones de personas que
There's going
van
to be
a
millions of
leer
people
eso
that
y
are
lo
going to
van a
read that
creer,
and
lo
they're going
van
to
a
believe it, they're
entender.
going to understand it.
Tú siéntate en tu trono,
Just
oh
sit
Dios.
on your throne,
Porque
oh
ahora sos
God,
Dios por
because
la
now
razón
you
de
are God
que
because
no
of the
eras Dios
reason that you were
antes,
not
según
God
lo que
before,
dice,
according to
sino
what it
porque
says.
amaste la
But
justicia
because you
y
have loved
aborreciste la
justice and you
maldad,
abhorred
por eso
wickedness,
ahora
that
yo
is
te
why now
declaro
I
Dios.
declare you God.
Pero no era Dios antes.
But wasn't
sí,
that
eras
God
Dios,
before? Yeah,
pero
you were
era un Dios que
God,
podía
but a
perder
God
todo
that could
eso.
lose everything.
Estaba en
You
juego
were
tu
at play
divinidad.
with
Así,
divinity
estaba
per
en
se.
juego.
It was at
Vos me
play.
tenías que demostrar a mí,
You had
le
to
dice el
demonstrate
padre a
to
Zacá,
me, the
hijo,
father tells that
vos me
son,
tenías que
you have to
demostrar
demonstrate
a mí
to me
que tú amabas la
that you
justicia
love
y
justice
aborrecías
and you
la maldad.
abhorred wickedness.
maldad?
What wickedness?
Si la Biblia dice que
The
Dios
Bible
hace la
says that
maldad,
God makes wickedness.
¿qué maldad?
What
Tenía que
wickedness?
aborrecer, tenía que aborrecer al Padre.
You
En
had, to
todo
abhor,
caso.
you had to abhor the Father
padre,
either way.
aprendí,
Yes,
te
Father,
aborré.
I learned. I abhor you.
Te
I
aborré.
abhor you. No,
bueno,
how are you
es
going to
una cosa
read
así.
such a thing?
Entonces, todo
So
una
then it's all illogical
que en la mente cristiana,
that in the Christian mind,
no en la judía,
not in the
en la
Jewish
cristiana,
established one, the Christian one,
todas estas cosas que yo
all
estoy
these things that
diciendo,
I'm saying,
inconscientemente los cristianos
subconsciously the Christians
tienen un choque.
have a
adentro.
shock within. They
No se dan
can't see
cuenta.
it.
Si se lo decís,
If
no
you
lo
make them see it,
aceptan,
they won't accept it,
pero juega en
but
contra de
it
ellos.
goes against
Porque al
them.
leer estos
Because
textos,
when they read these
su
texts,
mente, que es mucho
their
más
mind, which is a
inteligente de
lot
lo que
more
ellos son
intelligent than what they
conscientemente.
are consciously,
Vuelvo a repetir.
I'll repeat this again.
Nosotros
We
inconscientemente
subconsciously
somos mucho
are a
más
lot more
inteligentes de lo
intelligent
que
than
somos
what we are
conscientes.
consciously.
Inconscientemente
Subconsciously,
podemos hacer
we could
cálculos que
make
ni
calculations
soñando
that
lo
not
podemos
even
hacer en
dreaming
forma
could we do
consciente.
consciously.
En forma
In a
inconsciente
subconscious
somos
way, we're
multitasking a un
multitasking
nivel
at a
Dios.
level God.
tenemos todo
we
las
have
células
all
controladas
our cells
permanentemente.
controlled on a permanent basis. Temperature,
Humedad,
humidity,
energía.
energy,
¿Qué hace cada célula?
what every cell does,
Si tiene que crecer,
if it has to
si
grow,
tiene que
if it
envejecer,
has to grow
cómo
old,
responde a
how
una
it
agresividad,
responds to an
de lo que
aggression,
te pase, un
whatever
corte
happens
en la
to you,
piel, un
a
golpe
cut in your
o
skin,
un
a
golpe
strike, or an
emocional,
emotional
el
strike.
cuerpo inmediatamente
The body
reacciona
immediately
de la
reacts
mejor
in the
forma,
best way
a
possible,
veces para
sometimes
defenderte,
to
pero para
defend you,
nivelar,
but
para
to level
mantenerte la
out, to
vida,
keep
a
your
veces.
life, sometimes.
Cosa que si nosotros
Things
tendríamos que
which,
estar
if we
pensando, ahora
had
qué voy a
to
hacer,
start
ok, ahora
thinking,
tengo
what
que
am I going to do
respirar.
now? Because I have to
Y ahora
breathe
tengo,
now.
ahora tengo
Oh,
que
now I have to
oxigenar la sangre.
oxygenate
Y
the
ahora
blood.
que el nivel de azúcar,
And now
¿cómo lo
the
tengo?
blood
Lo tengo que
levels
bajar.
of sugar, I have to
le
lower
ordeno al
it.
páncreas
So
qué
then I
tiene que
tell my
hacer.
pancreas what
Nos
he has to do.
volveríamos
We
locos
would
si
go
cuando
crazy.
cocinamos
If
algo
when we
y
cook
tenemos que
something,
atender algo
we have to
y
pay
tenemos que ver
attention to
otra cosa,
something,
ya,
we have to see
algo
something
nos
else,
sale
then
mal.
something
Algo nos
we
sale
mess
mal
up.
porque
We
no
mess
podemos
up in something
dividir
because we
nuestra
cannot
atención
divide
en
our
todos lados.
attention
Nuestro
everywhere.
inconsciente
Our subconscious
es una máquina
is a
que no
machine
podemos ni
that we
analizar
could not
lo
even analyze
perfecta que es.
how
Es
perfect it
nivel
is.
Dios.
It is God level.
Permanentemente
On a
está
permanent
estabilizando,
basis, it is
recibiendo
stabilizing,
la
receiving
información,
the
actuando en
information,
base a esa
acting
información,
based on that
grabando
information,
todo,
recording everything,
manejando las memorias
handling the
y nos
memories,
deja
and
acordarnos de
it
lo
lets
que
us
Él
remember what
quiere.
it wants.
De lo que no quiere,
What it
dice,
doesn't
no,
want
de
us
esto
to
no te
remember, it
acordás
says,
más.
no, you're
¿Dónde
never
puse
going to
la
remember this.
llave?
Where
El
did I leave my
inconsciente
keys?
sabe
Well,
dónde pusiste la
the
llave,
subconscious
pero no
knows
te lo va
where
a
you
decir.
did, but it won't tell
No
you.
te lo va a decir.
He won't tell
Es
you.
más, te podría
In
mandar un
fact, he
video
could
de tus
send
ojos
you
donde
a
carajo la pusiste la
video
llave.
of where
O
the
dónde
fuck
se
you
te
left
cayó,
them,
Él sabe dónde
or
se te
where you
cayó.
left them. He
Él
knows
sabe
where you left them.
todo.
He knows everything.
Él sabe los nombres
He
de
knows
todas
the
las
names of all the
personas. Pero
people.
después ves una, ay,
But
¿cómo
then you
se
see the
llamaba
one,
ese?
what was the
No
name
me
of that guy?
acuerdo.
I can't
O
remember.
ves una
Or
película
you
del
see a
actor.
movie and the
Ay,
actor
¿yo
says,
dónde lo
oh,
vi
where
este
have I
tipo?
seen this
Y
guy?
¿Entonces dónde lo vi?
Where have I
El
seen him?
inconsciente
Your
sabe
subconscious
dónde lo
knows
vio.
where you saw him.
Sabe
He knows
perfectamente en qué
perfectly
película
well
trabajó,
what
el
movie
rol
he
que hizo.
worked
Si
on,
quisiera
what
te
role he
podría
was.
mostrar
He
toda la
could show you the
película,
whole
tiene
movie
grabado
because
todo.
it's all recorded.
Todo tiene
It's
grabado.
all recorded.
Te puedes acordar
You could
algunas
remember
escenas que
some
tu
scenes that your
subconsciente te permite
subconscious
acordar.
allows you to
Si
remember.
no quiere
If it does
que te
not want you
acuerdes,
to
te lo
remember,
borra.
it
Y
deletes
si
it.
haces algo
And if
que
you
el
do something
subconsciente
that your
dice
subconscious
esto
says this
va a perjudicar
will be
que
perjurious
lo
to
tenga en la
you for
memoria,
you to
lo
remember,
olvida.
you will forget it.
y no te acordás
And you
más.
won't ever remember it.
Otras cosas que el
Other things
inconsciente
that
dice,
the
esto se
subconscious
tiene que
says,
acordar
this he
porque
has to remember because this right
este
here,
lo tiene que,
he has to,
necesita
he needs
acordarse
to
de esto
remember
para
this
lograr
to
esto.
achieve
De
this.
golpe
And
estás
all of a
pensando
sudden
en
you're
cualquier cosa
thinking
y
in anything
¡pum!
and
Te viene
boom,
algo de la nada,
out of nothing,
como
out of
se
the
dice en inglés,
blue,
out of the blue, y te acordás de algo
and you
que
remember
pasó hace no sé
something that
cuándo.
happened, I don't know how long
Y,
ago.
ay,
And
verdad.
oh, that's
¿Y por qué
true.
pasa eso?
Why does that happen?
Porque tu
Because your
subconsciente hizo un
subconscious
análisis,
is
aparte de
analyzing,
todas las cosas que está haciendo
aside
a
from
la
all the
vez,
things that it's
que es
doing at the same
necesario que
time
te
that is
acuerdes.
necessary for you to
Porque
remember.
está viendo un peligro
Because
que
he's
tú
seen
no
a
estás
danger
viendo
that you're not seeing
conscientemente. O está
consciously,
viendo una
or it's seeing a
necesidad
necessity
para él,
for himself,
para él,
for
no para
himself,
vos,
not for
para
you,
él.
but for him.
Dice, acordate de
Remember
esto,
this
porque
because
necesito
I
que
need you
actúes
to
de
act
esta
this
forma.
way.
Y así
And that is
somos
how we
nosotros.
are. We
Tratamos a
try
veces
to
de
sometimes
decir,
say
nuestro
our
consciente,
conscious mind.
no,
No, our
nuestro
conscious
consciente
mind
es
is
esto al
this,
lado de nuestro
next to our subconscious
inconsciente.
mind.
No podemos
We cannot
controlar
control
nuestras
our
emociones.
emotions.
Tenemos que
We have
trabajar
to work
mucho,
a lot
pelear
and
contra
fight
nuestro
against our
inconsciente para
subconscious to
regular
regulate
las
the
emociones,
emotions,
porque
because
si no, si lo
otherwise, if
dejamos
we let it
suelto,
loose, wow, I
odio,
hate,
cólera, ira,
it's hate,
envidia,
cholera,
todas las cosas
envy,
malas,
all the
tu
bad things, your
consciente
subconscious
las
has them
tiene
all.
todas.
Just like
Sí,
that,
todas.
all of
El
them.
Yetzer
The
Hará, de que
Yetzer Hará that
hablamos,
we
la
spoke
tendencia al
about,
mal,
your
tu
tendencies
inconsciente la
towards
tiene todas.
evil, your subconscious has them all.
Miedo,
Fear, I
wow,
mean,
de
wow,
todo.
everything.
No
It's
es que
not that
vos
you
influís al
influence your
inconsciente
subconscious mind on a permanent
permanentemente. El
basis. Your subconscious
inconsciente
mind
tuyo, que
is
tu
your
espíritu,
spirit.
ese
That
es
is
tu
your
espíritu.
spirit.
Ese
It is the one that
tiene
has the
miedo.
fear.
Para
To
sacar
take the
el
fear
miedo
out
conscientemente,
consciously, you have
tienes que
to
hacer
exercise,
ejercicio,
tap
golpearte,
yourself,
golpearte
tap,
con el,
do tapping,
el tapping
the
technique,
tapping technique.
golpearte así, tic, tic. Para
To
tratar de
try to
hablarle
speak to
al
the
inconsciente,
subconscious
mira,
mind
las cosas
says,
no son
look, things
así.
are not that way.
Hay
You
que
have to
hablarle
speak
bien.
well to him. Say,
Mira,
look,
yo
I
quiero
want to
cambiar
change
esto.
this.
Yo tengo
I'm afraid, but I should not be afraid. But you have to think about it consciously. You cannot think about it subconsciously. No, you can't think about it. You understand what I'm saying? So then every single thing in our subconscious mind, we have to repeat it. Look, things are not that way. I should not be afraid of this. And you're going to do something and you are fearful. For example, a new job, and you're afraid of doing it, an important step in your life that you're afraid of doing, and you have an uncontrollable fear. You don't know where it's coming. It's coming from within. But consciously you say, I don't want to be afraid. I do not want to be afraid.
Pero
But
eso
that is
nace
born
de tu
of your
consciente, nunca de tu
conscious mind, not
inconsciente.
your
Qué lindo
subconscious
sería
mind.
inconsciente
Which
que
that'd be
tú
great.
tienes
Are you
miedo,
afraid
sí,
like this?
inconsciente
And
hay
there's
una
a
voz que
mind
dice, no
that
tengas
says, don't be
miedo,
afraid,
anda a
go do it.
hacerlo.
Oh,
Qué
that'd be
lindo
great.
sería. No, es
No, it's
todo
all
al revés.
backwards.
Hay que
You have to
enseñándole
teach
al
your subconscious
inconsciente
mind
que no
to not
tenga
be
miedo,
afraid,
que sea
to be
dadivoso,
giving,
que no tenga
to not be
envidia,
envious,
que
to
no
not
robe,
steal,
porque
because
por ahí tu
maybe your
inconsciente, ay,
subconscious
qué
mind says, oh, how
lindo
beautiful it is to
tener
have
eso.
that.
¿Por qué?
Why
Lo
do I
quiero
want to
tener,
have
y
it?
uno
And you
conscientemente,
want to have it?
yo no
I
tengo
don't
ese
have that
problema,
problem, but
pero
I'm
lo hablo
speaking
por
for
ustedes.
you,
Uno,
or
o
some of
algunos de
you,
ustedes
you
dicen,
say,
ay,
oh, I
lo
want to
quiero
have that.
tener. Pero
But
cuando lo
when you think about
pensás
it,
conscientemente, eso está
consciously,
mal.
you say, that's
Si lo
evil,
pensás,
that's bad. If you think about it,
si te dejas
if you
guiar
allow
por tu
yourself to be
inconsciente,
guided by
olvidate.
your subconscious mind, forget it.
Sos la
You're the
peor
worst
persona
person
que
that you could
podés
ever
ser.
be.
Si te
If you
dejas
allow yourself
guiar
to
por
be
tu
guided by your
inconsciente, sos la
subconscious
peor
mind, you're the
persona
worst
que
person that
podés
you could
ser.
ever be.
Tenés que ir
You have to
guiando
guide
a tu
your subconscious mind
inconsciente a través
through
de tu
your
conciencia.
conscience. As it
Justamente
turns
toda
out,
la
all of the
información de la
information of
verdad,
the
de
truth,
cómo debemos
of how we should
actuar, de
act,
las
of the
reglas,
rules,
de
of
las
the
leyes,
laws,
de
of
convivencia,
how we should
se
live with one
aprende.
another, you learn.
No vienen
They're not
integradas.
integral to your
Un
being.
bebé
A
no
baby
viene
does
integrado
not come
de que dice,
integrally
mamá,
saying,
por
Mom,
favor,
please
dame
give me
leche.
milk. No, I want.
quiero. Y si
And
no
if
lo
he doesn't
tiene,
get it, he cries.
y
Or
si
else
no,
he
manotea.
hits
Hay que enseñar
things
al bebé,
around.
no
Do not
manotees
hit
a
your
tu
mom.
mamá.
Nope.
¿No vieron
You've
todos
seen
los
all the
bebés
babies that
que
say,
le di
oh, they
un
they
cachetazo
hit their
porque
mom because
no le
she
quiso
didn't
dar
want
la
to give
teta o
him.
no le quiso dar algo.
Some, they
Una
get so
bronca le
angry.
agarra. Ahí tienen
There
a un
you have your
inconsciente
subconscious mind
dominando todo.
dominating
Un bebé
everything. A baby.
llora,
He cries,
grita,
he
se
yells,
enoja,
gets
por
upset.
ahí se
Maybe he
ríe
laughs
cuando
when he
quiere,
wants to.
pero cuando
But
se
when he's
enoja,
upset,
le da
he
un
gets
ataque
such
de
a
ira que
wrath
si
that
ese,
if that
individuo
little
chiquito
individual
tuviera la
had the
facultad de
faculty
tener
of
un arma
having
y
a
poder
weapon
matar,
and being able to
no
kill, no
queda
one would
nadie
be
vivo en
left
la casa.
at home.
La
The
madre.
mother, he would kill her.
Esa
That reaction
de
of
hacer
being
fuerza
getting like
y
that
la cara de
and the
enojo de un bebé.
anger,
Usted tiene que ver
you
la
have to
cara de
see
enojo de un bebé que
the
después nosotros
anger
ya no
that
la
we
usamos
later
esa cara de
don't
enojo
use
a
that
menos que esté mirando una
unless we
novela
see
que se
a
enoja
movie or something, get
o lo que
upset
sea,
or whatever.
pero esas caras de
But those
enojo del bebé
faces,
que
you know,
le ves en
that
los
you
ojos
see
que
in
te
their
quisiera
eyes that they would
matar
want to kill you.
a la madre que le da
The
leche
mother
y la
that
quiere matar
feeds
porque
him
no le da
wants to kill
leche.
her because
ese es
he
el
doesn't
inconsciente que
feed
tenemos
him.
todos
That
adentro.
is our subconscious
¿Cómo
mind.
se
How do
educa?
you
¿Cómo
educate
se
it? How do you
educa?
educate it?
Se educa
It is
diciendo,
educated
esto no
saying
es
this
así.
is not so.
Estas son
These
las
are the
reglas.
rules.
Estos son los
These are the
códigos
codes
para
to
convivir.
live with one another,
Para convivir. Tú no
cohabitate,
puedes hacer esto.
to coexist.
Entonces,
You can't do
el
that.
inconsciente va a decir,
Your
no,
subconscious
pero yo
mind will say,
quiero,
no, I
yo
want this, I
quiero.
want this.
No
No, you
puedes
can't do it.
hacerlo.
Okay,
está
that's
bien,
fine.
ahora
Now I
entiendo.
get it.
Y
And
después
then
de
after
tanto
practicing
practicarlo,
that for such a long time,
uno va
you go and you
dominando el
dominate your
inconsciente
subconscious
y el
mind. Your
inconsciente
subconscious
acepta
mind
que no es
accepts
bueno
that's not
robar.
good to steal.
Y después
And
solo el
then alone,
inconsciente
the
te
subconscious
sale
mind
de
goes
adentro.
out from within and says,
¿Cómo
no,
voy
how
a
am I going
robar?
to steal?
Sin
Without
pensarlo.
thinking about it.
Pero hay que
But you have to mold it.
Ustedes
Do you
me van
understand what I'm
entendiendo,
saying,
¿no?
right?
Esas son las
Okay, those are the
costumbres.
customs.
es tan
That's why it's so
importante de
important that
chiquito
since you are little,
empezar a
to start
moldear
to
el
mold the
inconsciente.
subconscious.
¿Y
How
cómo
do we
llegamos
arrive
a
to
esto?
that?
De la
And
conversación.
how do
No
we
sé,
get
pero
the,
la verdad
I don't know,
os
but the
hará
truth will make you
libres.
free.
Entonces,
So then,
los
the
cristianos
Christians
depositan
deposit
toda
all
su
of their
esperanza
hope
en
in
algo
something
ajeno a ellos.
foreign to them.
Ellos
They
se autoven
see
y se
themselves and they
autoconsideran
consider themselves
pecadores.
sinners.
Se
They consider
autoconsideran
themselves
no merecedores de la gracia.
not
Te lo dicen, yo no merezco
deserving,
la gracia.
undeserving of grace. They say,
una gracia
I do not deserve
inmerecida.
grace.
¿Cuántas veces
How
escuchamos
many
eso?
times have we heard that
La
term?
gracia
The
inmerecida.
undeserved grace.
La culpa es
The
mía.
guilt is
Mea
mine.
culpa.
Mea culpa.
Yo
I
soy
am
el
the
pecador.
sinner.
Leen
They
la
read the
Biblia,
Bible, they
dice,
say,
el que
the
diga
one that
que
says
no
he's
es
not a
pecador
sinner,
es
he's
un
a liar.
mentiroso. Yo soy
I'm
el
the
pecador.
sinner.
Yo
I
necesito
need
a
Christ
Cristo
Jesus,
Jesús, que vivió una
live
vida
the perfect
perfecta
life for
por
me.
mí. Yo no la
I will
voy a
not
vivir
live it
perfecta,
perfectly
porque
because
no
I
puedo
cannot live
vivirla
it perfectly.
perfecta. Ya
That
eso lo voy
already I
integrando en mi inconsciente.
Make
Mi
it be
inconsciente
part
empieza
of
a
my
pensar, es
subconscious
verdad,
mind.
tú
Says,
eres un
that's
pecador.
true, you are a sinner.
Tú eres
You are
algo
something
o
or
alguien que
someone
no
that does not deserve grace that they'll give you. You do not deserve salvation. What you do deserve is hell. So then I mold my subconscious mind with that information. And once you gather together all those conditions, you become perfect Christians. That kneels on the floor. Jesus, I ask you to forgive me for my nature. I know that I do not deserve this grace, but I implore that your blood will cover me with your grace, that your blood will save me. For your dad to not see me or your father, that you interpose in the middle of the wrath of God, and that when God sees me with the way that I really am, and he wants to send me to hell, for you to interpose in between your dad and me, and for you to say, don't look at him, I, your son, your perfect son, cover him with my blood. Remember, Father, that I died for him, and for that other one too, and for that other one too, and for the whole line there. That's why the Father no longer sees the sinner. He doesn't see you. He sees his son, and he smiles, yes, son, because you love justice, and you have hated wickedness. Then, okay, that's fine. He's covered, and what I'll do, I'm going to cover him with a justice robe. But those robes are not his. No. They're not his. They're mine, Father. I take him off of me. There's so many to give. I take off my robe and I place it upon every individual. I cover him with my justice. That is the justice that is imputed. The justice that places you in the very same time that you accepted that Christ Jesus, and he covers you with a white robe of justice that is undeserved, unpayable for, that you could never ever achieve, but he does it for you. And then he asks you for you to advance in the path of your justice in the best way possible. It is a long path. But for you to advance with him, and if you fall, he raises you. That is what you call the imparted justice. So there's two justice for Christians: imputed justice and imparted justice. The imputed justice is the one that placed on you. I accept Jesus. Okay, take it. Then afterwards, in your path, it's kind of like if you go and you add things to that justice, which is the imparted justice. It is all illogical. It makes no sense. And it's all fake. When I believe in my mind, this whole teaching that I just present to you, that the Christians believe, and they kneel down, and they ask for it, and they pray, they create in their mind a dichotomy or other opposing points, because they read all the things that I've said. Their subconscious mind understands it clearly, that Christ is not God in heaven, that Christ is not a co-eternal being. He understands it clearly. The only one that tries to understand it in a Trinity is the conscious mind, but the subconscious mind says, oh, this is bullshit. This is stupid shit. Poor guy. Poor guy. Yeah, poor guy. He believes any stupid shit, but not me. Not I. Then the Christian asks himself why he has no more faith. You know why they can't develop even more genuine faith? Because their subconscious mind doesn't believe of anything of what they read. The whole information of the eternal truth, if they were able to open the mind of the Christians, it is there. It is there. How many times did they read, I am God, I do good and I do evil? They read it. Their subconscious grasps it right away. The conscious mind says, no, my God cannot do any evil. The subconscious mind says, your God does evil. He made evil. But it doesn't get to their conscious mind. It stays in their subconscious mind. And then they read, and God created in the Garden of Eden, the tree of good and evil. Oh, the subconscious mind says, who created it? And the one that created it. If he doesn't believe in evil, then he can't believe in evil. So then good and evil is united. There's not even a science of good and evil. I want to eat just the science of good. In that of science of evil, I don't want it. No, it is only one tree, only one fruit. The subconscious mind grasps it right away. The conscious mind of the Christian says, how bad was that? The subconscious mind says that was great, Eve. Idiot. The subconscious mind said, if I were to be there, the first thing is to do is to eat from that tree because I want to learn science of good, which comes along with the science of evil because it is the science that cannot be separated. When I learn something good, in that same moment I'm learning how to do something evil. Whether I want to do it or not, that is something else. But in the moment in which I learn to do something good, I also learn to do something bad. If I learn to clean, it is because I perfectly well know how to get something dirty, or else I would not know how to clean. I would not know whether it's clean or dirty. If I want to learn to cure, it is because I really know how to kill. I know it. And since I know it, I can avoid how to kill and cure, how to cure. And the one that knows how to cure, he knows how to kill. And we know that perfectly well. Perfectly well, we know that. Which are the organizations that kill people? The one that knows how to create life, he knows how to create death. God created life and is the greatest assassin of them all. And the one that creates an explosive to break something hard from a rock and to get a benefit from that, he's also creating an explosive to kill, to destroy. When I create all the materials for construction, I am also creating weapons and different substances that are for destruction. So then, science of good and evil, it is the very same science. We cannot learn only to do good, because we're not going to learn how to do anything both. We learn to do both good and evil. If in a rule of not knowing anything they say we should not steal, we have to learn what does it mean to steal. To steal is to take out some article or belonging that is not yours, that you did not pay for, that you did not work for, that was not given to you, that belongs to another individual, and to take it without the permission of that owner and to grab it for yourself. You have to learn that to know what it is to not steal. You understand what I'm saying? So then, science of good and evil is one sole science. And we, as human beings, are a little spark of consciences of God. What am I trying to say with this? That in humanity, it is reflected the character of God. Because we all have a part of God. And the conscience that we have belongs also to Him. And in the great majority, humanity acts in a good way. Because or else we would already be destroyed. And if we think that this world is dog shit and blah, 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 the great majority has better intentions than bad intentions. In its great majority, all the human beings, if we were to add the positive qualities to the negative ones, the positive ones are more than the negative ones. For what reason? Because we see it, how civilization has been adapting itself by making laws, trying to coexist and grow. Does it have its negative parts? Absolutely, but its positive is greater. It is greater, or else we would not exist, or else we would have already self-destructed. If the negative part of humanity were greater than the positive, it would not have grown. It would have gone down to the point of non-existence. Because evil for itself, it destroys, and good for itself, it stays up. So then, we, amongst all of humanity, we reflect the character of God. If a Christian were to understand what I'm saying, he would immediately leave his beliefs, but it's difficult. Because for so many years, it has been in the subconscious mind, even if the subconscious mind is not an idiot. Now to remove them consciously, it is very difficult. But that is why it says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And scripture is concealed. Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God, of the Elohim Creator. It is to conceal the word. It is concealed.
no está
Nothing
nada
is
claro.
clear.
No está
Nothing
nada
is
legible.
legible.
Está
It is
ilegible,
illegible,
inentendible,
ununderstandable,
encriptada.
cannot be
Y lo primero que hay
understood,
que hacer es entender que hay
encrypted,
un
and
solo
the only
Dios.
thing, the first thing you have to understand is that there's
Si
only
en
one
el
God. If at the
momento
moment
que
in
crees que
which
hay
you believe that
otro
there is
Dios
another
con
God with
él,
him,
ya no vas a
you will
entender
no longer
nada.
understand anything.
Más
Yet the
gloria
glory
del rey, ¿qué
of
rey?
the God, what
Los
God,
reyes
the real
reales,
gods, the true
verdaderos,
ones
que
that
van a
will
reinar
rule
por siempre
forever in
en
this
esta humanidad.
humanity.
Ya no va a haber
There
una
will
sucesión de
never
reyes.
be another
muere un
succession
rey,
of kings. One
otro
dies, another
sube
one
a
comes up.
posición de
No,
rey.
they're no
No, ya no.
longer. Because
Porque la
life
vida
will
va a
be
ser
eternal.
eterna. Y
And
los
kings will
reyes
be
van a ser
eternal.
eternos.
So then,
Entonces, en esta
in this
instancia de
instance
la
of creation,
creación,
this
este
final
juego final,
game,
estamos
we are
en
in the
la
final
parte
part,
final, en el desenlace
in
del
the
juego.
end game. In this
En esta
final
parte final
end
de la
game of
creación,
creation, it
es
is
donde se
where
desarrollan
the kings are
los
developed.
reyes.
In the
el
first
primer
millennium,
milenio
there were
no
no
hubo
kings.
reyes.
Second
En el
millennium,
segundo milenio
there were no
hubo
kings.
reyes. En
In
el
the third
tercer
millennium,
milenio
there were no
hubo
kings.
reyes.
In the fourth
En el
millennium,
cuarto
there
milenio
were no
no hubo
kings.
reyes.
In the fifth
En el
millennium,
quinto
there were
milenio
no
no hubo
kings.
reyes.
In the
En el
sixth
sexto
millennium,
milenio nacen
the kings are
los
born.
reyes. Y reyes
And eternal
eternos.
kings at that.
Más
Yet honor
honra
of the
del rey
king is
es
to search out,
escudriñar,
to take
sacarle
out
el
the
sello
seal from
a la
Scripture.
Escritura.
The
El
rest
resto que no
of the people
pudo
that were not
sacar
able to take
el-
out
el-
the
la
cover
cobertura de
of
la
the Scripture,
escritura,
it is
porque
because
no
they were
era
not
rey.
kings.
Solamente
Only a
un rey
king can
puede
understand the
entender la
word.
palabra.
Only a
Solamente
king
un
can
rey puede
understand
entender
the
la
word.
palabra.
And I
Y yo
try
trato, en
in
mi
my
mayor,
greatest way
forma
of
de
explaining
explicar las
things
cosas,
in
mi
my
capacidad, en mi capacidad,
ability,
mi mayor
but to
capacidad,
the best of my
en mi mayor
abilities, I
capacidad,
try
trato de
for
que
you
tú
to
entiendas
understand
lo
the
maravilloso que es
marvelousness of
entender
understanding
lo que nosotros entendemos.
what we understand.
No tiene
There is no
precio.
price.
En el
In
momento
the
que
moment in
empiezas a
which you start to
valorar
value
que nosotros
that we
entendemos
understand
algo
something which
que
is
es
precious,
precioso, que
which
es
is marvelous,
maravilloso,
which is
que es
divine,
divino,
that
es
is
cuando
when
te
you
empiezas a
start to
realizar y
realize
darte
and
más
you start to
puntos
give
a ti
yourself
como
more points
persona.
as a person. What am I
¿Qué
trying to
quiero
say
decir
with
con
this,
esto?
or
¿O
to
hasta
what
qué
point
punto
am I
quiero
trying to
llegar
get
con
to?
esto?
The
Los
kings,
reyes, para cuando termine
once the
el
end
final de esta
of this
partida,
game ends,
son los
they're
únicos
the
que
only ones
entendieron
that
algo.
ever understand anything.
El
The
resto
rest did not
no
understand
entendió nada.
anything.
¿Y
And
qué
what
van a
are the
decir los
rest of the
demás
players going to
jugadores?
say? They're going to say
Van a decir,
Jeremiah
Jeremías 16,
16:19.
19.
Only
Solo mentira
lies was the
fue la herencia de
inheritance
nuestros
from our
padres.
fathers.
No nos
They didn't
dijeron
tell
las
us
reglas
the
del
rules
juego
of the game
claramente.
clearly. They
Nos
gave
dieron
us
reglas
wrong rules of
equivocadas
the
del
game,
juego,
and
y
we
nosotros
believed
las
them.
creímos. Vanidad sin
Vanity,
provecho
which
alguno,
have
no
no
sirven
profit,
para
they are no
nada.
good.
Todo lo que
Everything that we
adoramos no
worship are no
sirve para
good.
nada.
The
Al
Christ
Cristo que nos
that we would
arrodillamos
kneel
no
to
sirve
is
para
no
nada.
good. The
La
blood
sangre
of
de
Christ
Cristo
would
no me
not cover
cubría
me
de
of
nada.
anything.
No había
There was
ninguna
no
justicia
imputed
imputada.
justice, nothing.
Nada.
I
Estoy al
am naked.
desnudo.
Everyone's going to say. And
Y ahora,
now
¿quién
who
podrá
will be
defendernos?
able to defend us? They're
Van a
going to
decir
all
todos.
say, who?
¿Quién?
And
Y
that
ahí
is
va a
where,
saltar.
no, not the Chapulín
Ahí
Colorado.
va a saltar
No,
el
it's going to be the
Mesías.
Messiah.
Es decir, yo
He's going to say,
Yo estoy acá
here,
para
I am
defenderlos.
here to
Porque
defend
yo
you because
soy
I am
el
the
rey.
king. Because
Porque
I
yo
understand
entendí todo.
everything. Because
Porque
I
yo gané el
won
juego.
the game.
Porque
Because
yo
I
gané la
won
partida.
the end
Porque
game.
yo
Because I comprehended
comprendí al
the designer
diseñador
of
del
the game.
juego.
Because
Porque yo
I
jugué
played with
con
the
el
designer of
diseñador
the
del
game.
juego
And
y
I
le gané
won
la
the
partida
game.
a él.
I beat him.
¿Cómo?
What?
Sí.
Yes.
Todos
Every
ustedes
one
son
of you are losers.
perdedores.
And
Que ahora
now
yo
I
no voy
will
a
make
ser
you winners.
ganador.
Don't you
No se
worry.
preocupen,
You
ustedes
lost.
perdieron.
You lost
Perdieron
because you
porque no
didn't understand
entendieron
the
el
game.
juego,
You
perdieron
lost
porque no
because you
entendieron
didn't
quién
understand
creó
who
el juego,
created the game. You
perdieron
lost
porque no
because you didn't know
supieron
how to
jugar
play
con el
with the
creador
creator of
del
the game.
juego,
You lost
perdieron porque
because
le
you would ask
pedían
the
al
creator
creador
of the
del
game to
juego que los
redeem you,
redima y
and
ustedes
you
tenían
had
que
to
hacer su
do
parte
your
y no
part,
la
and you
hicieron,
didn't. You
no
couldn't.
pudieron.
That is why you lost. It's as simple as that. That's why you lost. Only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. Vanity to which there is no avail. If it is man that makes himself gods, then they're not gods. That is why, behold, I will make it be known unto you. I will show you the strength of mine arm, and you shall know that my name is Yahweh. They all understand that there's only one creator, that there is one alone, that this group of kings understood, and you didn't. That is why you lost the game. But don't you worry, you're all winners anyway. You didn't pass on to the group of kings, you were left in the group of players that lost. And now we get to a very key text. Before reading it, though, I want to tell you that it's a good thing that last Shabbat I did not speak, because I was very upset. You can imagine against whom I was upset with. I imagine you as the eternal truth, know against whom I could be upset. If a Christian in those churches that are more than anything innovative, that are based on all kinds of speculations and all those things that they think they understand, that there are secret societies that rule the world, which there is and all the rest, but that they place all of their mental energy in that and all their beliefs in that, in the devil that guides them, and blah, 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 conspirations, conspiracy theories. If a pastor from there were to tell you, I am upset, they would understand that he's upset against the government, against the secret, ultra, deep government, deep state, or the beast that works through the occult powers of Satan, but never against God. And why was I upset, and why is my anger different? I was upset against the Creator, because I am here in defense of humanity. No matter if there is a town in Africa that is being burned, that sometimes I don't find out and I don't feel like it's way too far from me, because I'm a human just like you. And I could be only one place at the same time, and I have no other power except for the power of my words. For Los Angeles to burn, the whole quantity of thousands, more than 10,000 houses, properties that were burned, rich houses, give or take, businesses, for lives to be lost, although it wasn't that many, but for lives to be lost, but for that which is material to be lost, I was very, very upset. And the difference, in contrast of the Christians, that made all of the videos that there's ever been saying it's the wrath of God that punishes the sinners, because Hollywood is Satanism, and they had to be punished because they are evil, because they do secret pacts, because there are horrible businesses, because there are secrets and mysteries that the people don't know about, because they make the whole world sin, because from Hollywood is where entertainment comes from, that deceives the people, that makes them Satanists, that makes them sexual, that ruins the life of the people, so that God is tired and he burned Los Angeles down. Those, it's filled. YouTube is filled with, and to that we have the Arabs and the Muslims that say, this here, this is the punishment of what they did to Gaza. How we enjoyed, if you can see the live videos, 90% of the ones that would speak in all of the American channels, they were Muslim, and would say how we enjoy this. Hopefully this is never turned out just eating popcorn, enjoying how Allah punishes the beast, enjoying what you did to us. How does it feel, your own medicine? How does it feel? All of them, and the Christians, God is tired. just like he was sick and tired of Sodom and Gomorrah. God is punishing the most sinful city that exists. Well, I have something to tell all of you sons of bitches, Christians and all the rest that said that. And the Muslims I could give a fuck about because you're losers from the very start. All the Muslims are losers. They'll have to learn to win the game in a different dimension, in a different stage. You're already losers from the get-go. Because God, mind you, gave him a false book. God gave him a false book. Because God speaks through his prophets and he speaks through his false prophets also. One of those was the one that wrote the Quran, which was Mr. Muhammad. Who inspired Muhammad? God. There is no, the one that inspired Abraham, mind you, the same one that inspired Moses and the prophets is the very same one inspired Muhammad. He says, come here, Muhammad, that I will make of your people a very stupid people, and I will make a very idiot people, and I want you all to be losers. I'm going to give you a book, you're going to believe it because you're idiots. That's good. He did that. He did that. God did. If you understand the game. He is the owner. He is the mastermind through all this. There's no one that can make something up. He says, it is my game, my flat table. It's flat. He makes him believe that it's a globe. It's flat, but it's a table game. He says, what am I going to do here? I'm going to raise a group here. I'm going to make a little fire here, a flood here. In Spain, I need some little waters here. Seeing what do I play? Maybe he has dice. And he says, oh, let's see. Oh, Los Angeles. Okay, well, let's go to Los Angeles then. Let's go to Los Angeles then. And the Christians say, God is punishing the wickedness. False. False. No, because the secret communities, they want to make a business false. That's false. False. No, because there's a business from behind that they're going to make. It's false. Also, false. It's all false. It's all false. All the conspiracy theories. Don't get into conspiracy theories. Doesn't take you into anything. He creates them. It's part of the game, and he creates also a whole quantity of real things that you might say, oh, but conspiracy theories are true. There are groups. Yeah, there are groups. That plan evil. Yeah, they plan evil. Secret societies, yes, secret societies. That do sinister plans, yes, sinister plans. That there is a 2030 agenda. Yeah, there is. Oh, that is true. But that does not influence at all. Because the one that created the Agenda 2030 is him, it's God. The one that created the secret groups is God. The one that created every religion is God. Because he's the one that has the cards. He places the cards, he throws the dice and says, what is there on my table today? I'm kind of bored. What do we do today? Let's do a little fire. How about a fire? Since I'm not going to go down to start the fire, I'll influence just like with Pharaoh, because I can show you all things. The Pharaoh wanted to let him go. He didn't want the Pharaoh to let him go. He says, I'll grab Pharaoh's card and says, Pharaoh in a heart in his heart. And the Pharaoh precisely, he wants to say, yes, Moses, take that dog shit group of people that I can't stand. And then God says, nope. And he looks at the wife, but didn't you say this morning that you're going to let him go? And he says, no, I don't know, but now I want to, I don't know, I won't let him go. That's it, it's over. They got me upset. Moses, son of a bitch, you're not going to leave. And the other plague, the guy, after suffering every plague, would say, okay, I'll let him go now. Come here, Moses. This time, yes, my dear, I'll let him go now. Don't you worry, I can't even stand them. They're no good. They're just useless. Tell them to go fuck off. To top it off, they have a God that is stronger than ours, that punishes us. Yeah, I'll let him go this time because I'm not an idiot. So then come here, Moses, and Aaron, come here. Tomorrow, you're not going to leave. Why? Because God, he says, what are you going to do? No. He grabs Pharaoh's card. It says, Pharaoh, no. And Pharaoh, it was a power that was stronger than him. Did you see when they say it's stronger than I? What do you mean stronger than I? Well, there is something stronger than us. And when Balaam wanted to curse Israel, he says, how much are you going to go pay for me? Oh, all that? Oh, yes. It's not convenient, but go ahead and take me. Hold on, let me do a little an altar, I'll do sacrifices, and then I'm ready to curse. Don't you worry. And he would face them. Oh, this, I hope they, and what would happen? Oh, what a beautiful people. They're the sons of the lion. That people will destroy everyone. The other guy's like, hey, I'm paying you to curse them. What's wrong with you? He says, I don't know what's happening to me. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with me. The Bible is filled with those cases. Judas was there, and they said, no, I'm not going to sell him. No, that's it. I'm not going to sell him. So then Yahweh looks at him, who was there, Yahweh was, looks at him and says, Judas, one of you will betray me. And Judas in his heart said, no. So then he says, he looks at him and says, is it me, Lord? Like as to say, no, not me. How are you going to think that it's me? No, I'm not going to do that. That is, when he says, is it me? That's stupid. They translate it like however they want. Actually, Judas said, it must not be me. Surely it's not me, Lord. And different than say, is it me, Lord? Than to say, surely it's not me, Lord. I have decided not to be. So there's another son of a bitch, must be Peter, one of those. Or Jacob, or James, one of those. But it must not, surely it's not me. Surely it's not me, Lord. He looks at him. Yahweh looks at him and says, Judas, you're going to betray me. Fucking what? There was no escape. He said no. Judas said no. So then, there was no other remedy than for the devil to enter into him. So then he looks at him, the devil does, and he says, Judas, go and do what you must. To top it off, I have to do it. Yes. Go and do what you must do. It's an obligation. We, for years, the Christians, Judas, what a son of a bitch, betrayer, we have to kill him. We watched Terminator. We had a scene that Terminator would come to kill Judas, and now, every time Judas would kill him, Jesus would resurrect him. Why don't you understand? I need him alive. He needed him alive, and I need him to do what I want him to do. What I want him to do. We would not understand that. The Christians understand Judas is the worst betrayer of all history, yes or no? But I'm talking the worst betrayer in history. In fact, Judas is left as a symbol and name of betrayers. When they say there's a Judas in here, what do they mean when they say you're a Judas? What do they mean? There's no need to say betrayer. You're a Judas. The name was left of betrayer. But if we were to know that he would not have betrayed him, if that had gotten to our mind, that he would not have betrayed him, if it weren't because Yahweh wanted it so. So then, when we speak of conspiracy theories, we have to see. Wait, don't look for any more conspiracy theories. You really want to be kings? Don't look for conspiracy theories, because it's you go into this rabbit hole of which there is no end. It's a trap for you and for everyone. Those who start with the conspiracy theories and want to watch videos and what happens, and they look and they watch. First of all, they could be lied to because they have no evidence of anything. They just speak because they can, and then because of this little data they added with that, and they added with that, and they say, see this family, and that it was the black family, and that there were this and that, like wars, and type of wars in Spanish, that they have the conspiracy theories that the family and the lineage that I can remember, the black family, not because of their skin color, but that is what they would call it. It was, and then the Masons and all of the rest, and record it if you want to really be kings. Don't look for conspiracy theories. It is a waste of time. It is a waste of time. It is to go into the rabbit hole that you'll never get to the end thereof, and you deviate your attention of what you should really have your attention, which are something else. Don't try to find out and who was the son of a bitch, and because he betrayed, and there's a secret society, and they're doing this and that, and then something else is coming along. You're wasting your time, and your life wastes away of trying to find out, oh, there's a 6, and there's a 666, and this is an inverted cross, and they've made a symbol, and the towers of 9/11. It has been said by the Simpsons, and it was planned, and it was all and your life wastes away in conspiracy theories that you don't have any proof whatsoever, and you'll never know the truth for now. For now,
La verdad,
the truth,
yo la sé.
I know the truth.
La verdad
The
es
truth
el
is
autor
the
de los
author
incendios
of
de Los Ángeles
the Los Angeles
es
fires
Yahweh.
is Yahweh.
Si él utiliza algún
If he
grupo
utilizes a stupid
utiliza
group,
el
if
gobierno
he
de
uses
California,
the government of
utiliza
California,
a los
or the
masones, si él
Masons,
utiliza a
or
los grupos que
the
quieran utilizar,
Illuminati, or whatever
eso
groups
es
they want to use, that is circumstantial.
Circunstancial como Judas,
Like Judas,
como el
like the
faraón,
Pharaoh,
como
like
el como
like
¿qué les dije
what
que
was
estaba
the name
maldiciendo?
that was cursing?
Como
Like
Balaam,
Balaam.
porque ustedes no se la, si
Because
ustedes ahora
if you
entendiendo
were
esto,
to now
no se la agarrarían con
understand this, you
faraón,
would
¿no?
not go against Pharaoh, right?
Si faraón lo
If
quería
Pharaoh
liberar al
wanted to
pueblo,
let the people
no pueden
go,
agarrarlo a faraón del cuello.
you can't
¿A
be
quién
upset at
tienen que
Pharaoh.
agarrar del cuello?
Whom should you be
Al que
upset at?
manejaba la
The one
marioneta
that would
de faraón.
handle the marionette who was
Entonces,
Pharaoh. So then,
el que incendió Los
the one
Ángeles
that
porque
set
se les
in
cantó
Los
sus
Angeles in fire
divinos
because he
huevos,
wanted
se
to,
llama
it
Yahweh.
was,
Y
his
no es
name is
porque yo
Yahweh.
lo
And that is
diga,
not just because I say so,
es porque está escrito.
because it's
Y
written,
no es un
and
castigo
it's
por su
not a
maldad,
punishment because
porque
of
la
the
ciudad de Los
wickedness, because
Ángeles
the
no es
city
más mala
of
que
Los
cualquier
Angeles
otra
is not
ciudad
any
del
more
mundo.
evil than any other city in the world.
Es más,
In fact,
diría que es
I
mejor
would say
ciudad
it's the best city
que
than many
muchísimas
other
otras
cities
ciudades
in
del
the
mundo.
world. And I would
Y
go as
diría
far as to say
que el
that
incendio
the tremendous
tremendo
fire
que
that
sufrió
Los
Los
Angeles
Ángeles
suffered is not
no
real,
es real,
in the
en el
sense
sentido
that
de que no
it
pudo
could
haber
not have
sucedido
happened in the
en
way,
forma
natural
natural.
way. We're talking
Estamos
about
hablando
a
de un
fire
incendio
that
que no se
is
compara
not
con
compared
Sodoma,
to Sodom and
Gomorra y
Gomorrah
todas
and
las
all
ciudades
the
que se
cities that
quemaron.
burned. I want you
Quiero
to
que usted se
imagine in
imagine
your
su
mind
mente
how
cómo era
Sodom and
Sodoma y
Gomorrah
Gomorra.
were. They were
Eran
cities
ciudades
like
así,
this,
con
with
construcciones
dog
de
shit
mierda,
buildings of
de
a
una
little stone
piedrita
upon
sobre
another,
otra,
like a
un poco
cave.
iba. Si no
If you don't
me
believe
creen,
me, look
miren
at the
cómo son las
constructions in the
construcciones en el
desert, in
desierto, en Arabia,
the
las
old ones
viejas,
in that whole
o cómo era
Arabian
Jerusalén.
land, or Jerusalem even.
Ladrillos, así,
They would
ponían, no
bricks,
eran
not
como
like
los
the
egipcios,
Egyptians.
mucho
The
mejor
Egyptians
los
were a lot
egipcios.
better.
Tenían mucha
They
más
had a lot
tecnología
more
y inteligencia los
intelligence
egipcios,
and technology. The
Estos
Egyptians
eran
did.
ciudades
These were dog shit
pequeñas
cities.
que no
They
llegarían a tener
would
ni
not
pero ni
even
1000
have not even
habitantes.
1,000
Estoy
people, and
diciendo
I'm
una
saying something
barbaridad.
completely
Estoy diciendo una
barbarity.
barbaridad, ¿eh?
Complete
Una barbaridad.
barbarity. There were
Eran
cities
ciudades
like this.
así. Todas
All of
esas
those
juntas
together
no hacen un
don't
solo
make one
incendio
sole fire
de
of
una
one
zona
zone
de
in
Los
Los Angeles. Los
Los Ángeles
Angeles, we're
estamos
talking
hablando
about
de
miles
kilómetros o
upon
millas
miles
y
upon
millas
miles
y
upon
millas
miles
de
of the
ciudad.
city. A
Una
city,
ciudad
a beautiful city.
hermosa.
You could
Usted puede
walk
caminar por
down
cualquier
any
lado
city
de
in the
día.
day in
En ciertos
certain
lugares de
times
noche no
at
es muy
night. It's not
recomendable.
recommendable,
Pero es
but
una
it's a
ciudad tranquila,
chill city,
una
a
ciudad pacífica,
Pacific city,
una
peaceful
ciudad
city
en la que
where
usted
you
puede
can
hacer
have
negocios,
business, you
puede
can work,
trabajar,
you
puede
can live
vivir
your life,
su vida,
you
puede
can study,
estudiar,
can do
puede
many
hacer
things.
muchas cosas. No
They're
lo están
not
asaltando, ni violando, ni
raping you,
matando.
killing you, or robbing you.
Crimen
No.
hay en todos
I mean,
lados.
crime is
Pero
everywhere, and I'm talking about
de ahí no es mayor
it's
al de
not
Buenos
best,
Aires,
better than
no es
that
mayor al
of
de
Los
San
Angeles,
Pablo,
of Sao Paulo,
no es
or
mayor a una
a
favela
favela
en
in Brazil,
no es
not
ni siquiera
even
se
close
acerca
to
al
of
DF,
Mexico
al
City,
Distrito Federal, la capital
Mexico
de México.
City. It's
Ni
not
siquiera se
even
acerca.
close to that. Doesn't
Ni hablar
even
de lo que
mention
es
what
Tijuana.
Tijuana is.
Una de las capitales
One
del
of the
crimen
greatest
más
capitals
grande
of
que
crime
existe.
that ever existed. Los
Los Ángeles
Angeles
es algo
is something peaceful
pacífico
next
al
to
lado de
Tijuana.
Tijuana.
So then,
Entonces,
how can
¿cómo a alguien se le
someone
ocurre
dare to say
decir que
that
Dios
God punished
castigó a
Los Angeles
Ángeles
when
cuando
it is
es
one
una
of
de
the
las mejores
best
ciudades
cities in the
del
world?
mundo? Los
Those
que no
that
tienen
don't have
plata
money, they say
dicen
there's the
extra al castigo.
punishment
A los
of the
ricos.
rich.
Casas de
20
20
million
millones,
houses,
casas
100
de
million
100
houses
millones de dólares
burned
se
down.
quemaron.
What
¿Qué dicen
do
los que jamás
those that have
han
never
visto
even
ni-
seen
ni
$10,000
$10,000
together
juntos?
say? They say,
Dicen,
oh, that's
"Qué
good.
bien,
God
Dios los
punishes them.
castigó."
Did you
¿Saben
know
qué
what they're
están
demonstrating
demostrando
there?
ahí?
Envy,
Envidia,
jealousy, anger,
bronca, ira,
wrath, because they're
porque son
poor,
pobres,
because they've
porque
never
nunca
had
tuvieron
any money,
plata
nor
ni
will
la
they
van a
ever
tener,
have it, because
porque su
their
mundo es
world
una
is
mierda,
dog shit,
y
and when
cuando se quema
a
una
mansion is
mansión
burned,
de la
of
que
which
ellos
they
solamente
have
la han
only
visto en
seen pictures
fotos,
of, because
porque
they
son
really
realmente
are precious,
preciosas,
spectacular mansions,
espectaculares,
they say,
dicen
that's
que
good.
bien,
I like
me
that.
gusta.
It
Debe
must
ser un
be a
castigo
divine
divino.
punishment.
Como
How's
una
a
casa va a
house
tener
gonna have
ascensor.
elevators?
Como
How's a
una casa
house gonna have
va a tener
the
los
luxuries
lujos
they
que
have
tienen?
if I
Si yo
can't
apenas
even
ni
have
tengo ni agua
warm water?
caliente,
These sons
estos
of
hijos
bitches
de
have
puta tienen 40
40
baños
different bathrooms, and
y
I
yo no sé ni
don't even know what
ni
to
qué
do with
hacer
my
con mi
life.
vida.
And so then they say,
Entonces
that's
dicen,
good.
qué
God
bien,
punished
Dios los
them
castigó por su
because
opulencia.
of their guilt. What?
Sodoma,
Sodom and Gomorrah
y las otras ciudades que
and
no
the other
sé ni
cities
cómo
that I don't
carajo
even
se
know what their
llaman, no
names
me
are because I can't
acuerdo.
remember.
Es un
It
incendio
is a
diminuto
small
así
little fire
en
in
la historia,
history compared to
comparado
what
con
happened
lo
in
que
Los
pasó en Los
Angeles,
Ángeles,
which was
que fue
absolutely
absolutamente
greater.
mayor. La zona más
The most
cara del
expensive zone in the planet
planeta que
the
no
planet
planetea, de la
that
Tierra
is
plana,
a flat
de
earth of
este
this
juego de mesa. Si este juego de mesa
board
tiene una zona
game.
cara, es Los Ángeles. Hay
There are
algunas
many
otras
other
zonas por
zones,
ahí,
that
Manhattan, algún que
some
otro
other
barrio
private
privado en algún lado.
city
Pero la zona
somewhere,
más
but the most
prestigiosa
prestigious
de la
of the
Tierra
entire
entera
earth is Los
es
Angeles.
Los Ángeles.
Period.
Punto.
That's it. It's
Se
over.
acabó.
Why?
¿Por qué?
Because
Por
of
la
the
cantidad
quantity of
de terrenos y viviendas
valuable
valiosas. Por la cantidad
houses
que hay.
and
Por lo
properties
extenso que hay. Y
and
por
how
lo
beautiful it
hermoso
is.
que es. Mientras
While
todos
they're
están
all
muriendo de
dying
frío,
of cold,
nosotros
here
acá
we've
tenemos
got
medio
it's
primaveral
kind of
nuestro
like
clima.
spring
Precioso.
here, precious.
Mientras baja todo el
While
frío
it's all
a todo el
cold
resto
to the rest
del
of the
país
American
americano,
country, of the
de
U.S.
Estados
and
Unidos y
also of
también a
Mexico and all the
México y
rest,
demás,
we
nosotros
are
la
doing
pasamos
great
acá re
here.
bien.
Because
Porque
California is
es uno
one
de
of
los
the
mejores
best places
lugares
to
para
live.
vivir. Tras que es paradisíaco,
On top of it being
tiene
like a paradise,
desierto
it's got a precious
precioso,
desert. It's
tiene
got
montañas
precious mountains,
preciosas
and
y
it's
tiene
got
playas preciosas.
beaches, beautiful
Costa,
ones.
por lo
It's got a
menos. No sé si
coast.
las
I don't
playas
know the
están
beaches are
preciosas,
so,
pero
but the
la
coast
costa
is
es
magnificent.
magnífica.
The
La
scenery
de
of the
los
trees,
árboles, la
the
vegetación,
vegetation, there's
no hay
nothing
como
like California. If
Si
I
yo
had to
tengo que
say,
decir,
if there's
si hay
any
algún
real
paraíso
paradise
realmente en
on
la
earth,
tierra,
it's
es
California.
California. Yo
I
no puedo decir
cannot
que
say
Guatemala,
Guatemala,
porque
even
me
if they
digan
tell
por
me
el
because of the
calor
heat is
que hay,
there,
la
the
humedad
humidity,
o el frío
or
constante.
constant cold.
Y si a eso le
And to
sumamos
that we add
la calidad de
the
gente,
quality
se
of
ofendan quien
people.
se ofenda,
I don't care who gets
baja
offended.
totalmente el
The
terreno.
terrain goes down in value
Porque no es lo
because it's
mismo
not the
vivir
same
en un
than to
lugar
live in a
donde
place
reina la
where
pobreza
poverty reigns
y reina casitas
and little
así,
houses
a un
reign
lugar
to a
donde
place
reina la
where
opulencia y reina
pomp reigns
un tipo de
and a type of
sociedad
society
más alta.
that is higher.
Porque nadie
Because
puede
no one
poner en
can
discusión
say
de que
an
la
argument that
sociedad
the society
de Estados Unidos
in
sea
the
más
U.S.
alta que
is
la sociedad de
higher
Guatemala.
than that
Alguien
of
no puede
Guatemala. Can
discutir
somebody
eso.
argue that?
Puede
Can't.
discutir. No se puede discutir.
Cannot be argued.
La calidad de vida
The quality of life
y todo lo demás.
and all the rest.
Entonces, lo
So
que se
then,
quemó
what was burned down
me dolió
hurt me
como
like
parte
as if it were a part
de este juego de
of
mesa
this
que me
board game
prometieron
that I was promised
que me lo iban
that they were
a
gonna
heredar.
inherit it to me.
Y si a ti,
And if to you,
como parte de la verdad
as a part
eterna,
of the eternal
no te
truth,
dolió,
it didn't hurt you.
no te dolió,
It didn't hurt
tienes
you.
mucho que aprender.
You have a lot to learn.
Y se lo digo a cada
And
uno.
I tell every one of you,
Si
if any
alguien de
one
ustedes
of
se
you
alegra
were happy
por una casa quemada en Los
for
Ángeles,
one sole house being burned in Los Angeles,
tienen mucho que aprender.
you have a lot to learn.
No estás
You're not
en el camino
in the path
que debes estar.
that you should be on.
Porque hablando de la
Because
mejor parte de
speaking
la
about the best
tierra,
part of the earth,
no se puede,
you
porque se le
cannot,
antoja a
just
Yahweh
because Yahweh
quemarlo
wants
a su
to burn it down, because he wants to.
Y hablando de cosas
And speaking of
más
things
allá
that go way
de lo
past
que Yahweh hizo para
of what
quemar
Yahweh
esto,
did to
les
burn
tengo que
this,
contar
I have to tell you
algunas cosas.
some things.
Científicamente, no importa
Scientifically
lo que ustedes hayan
speaking, no
escuchado,
matter
me
what you have
vale
heard, I
madre
could give
lo
a
que ustedes hayan
fuck
escuchado
what
y
you
lo
have
que ustedes
heard and what you believe
Yo te voy
them.
a decir lo que
I'm going to
es.
tell you what it is.
Científicamente,
Scientifically speaking,
realmente,
really speaking,
materialmente,
materially speaking,
no se puede quemar lo que se quemó.
what was burned cannot be
Es
burned.
imposible.
It's impossible.
Es imposible.
It's impossible.
Esto fue a
This was
propósito de
on
Yahweh.
purpose by Yahweh,
Y fue a
and
través
it
de
was through
fuerzas
forces
más allá
that go way
de lo
past
que podemos
what
entender.
we could understand.
Porque o utilizó
Because
seres humanos que
either
prendieron todo
used
casa por casa,
Actual humans that set
O
everything on fire,
utilizó
or he utilized
fuerzas
forces,
divinas
divine forces,
prohibidas porque no le
prohibited,
permitimos hacer
but
eso
because
al
we don't
creador.
allow
Está
the
haciendo
creator to
cheating,
do that.
está haciendo
He's
trampa
cheating. He's cheating
para que se queme
for
estos
everything
barrios completos.
to be burned in these
Una vez estaba
whole
pintando yo
neighborhoods.
muchos
I was
años.
painting some years ago
en el norte de San Bernardino,
in
California,
the north of San Bernardino,
unas casas
California.
preciosas,
Precious houses.
y estaba por terminarla,
And I was
estaba en
about to
una etapa
finish
que
it,
no
and
la
I was in
podía
the
dejar,
stage that I could not
cuando,
leave it
la forma que yo
in the
tenía de
form in which
pintar,
that I had
o que se
to
pinta acá en Estados
paint,
Unidos,
or
los
the way it is
profesionales, vamos por
pointed. Professional
etapas,
levels, we
no
go
es
by
un pintor
stages.
así que va,
It's not a painter
no,
that just
hacemos
goes, no,
todo
no,
por
no. We
etapas.
do everything by
Y hay
stages.
etapas que no se pueden
There are
dejar.
stages that you cannot leave.
Y no se pueden dejar
That you cannot leave
los
them
vidrios tapados, no se pueden dejar
covered on the
mucho
windows
tiempo
or a long time,
ciertos
certain
materiales hay que
material
sacarlos,
that you have to take out
y porque ponemos para proteger algo y
because
después lo
we
sacamos.
leave it there to
Entonces,
protect something and
hay
then we take it
momentos
out.
que
So
hay que
there are moments
terminar esa
that we have
etapa,
to finish that
aunque
stage,
sea que tenga que
even
trabajar
if you
muchas
have to
horas,
work
de noche
many hours
inclusive.
at night
Pero
even.
esa etapa la terminamos.
But
No
you
podemos
have to
decir,
finish
pues
that
sigo
stage. You
mañana,
can say,
sigo
I'll
después.
continue
No,
tomorrow, later. No,
Si
no.
empezaste con esa
If
etapa,
you
la
started
tienes que
that
terminar.
stage, you have to finish it.
Estaba pintando una casa,
I was painting a house.
era de día,
It was on day. It was the day.
y empezaron unos fuegos
Some fires
en
started
unas casas más
in
allá,
some houses that
y se
were
empezaron a quemar.
a little farther away, and they
Y
started
vino
to
la
burn.
policía,
And the
vinieron los
police
bomberos.
came, and the firemen
Y
came.
viene la policía
The
para el
police came.
patrullero
They
ahí.
stopped there
Dice,
in front.
chicos,
They
tienen que
say, "Hey
irse,
guys, you gotta go,"
porque es
because
obligación
it is by mandatory
obligación
obligation,
salirse de las casas.
mandatory to leave the
Yo lo
houses.
miré y dije,
And I looked at him and
"Ok,
said,
enseguida voy."
"Okay, I'll go there in a
Como
bit."
digan ahorita.
Like a Mexican would say, "Yeah, in a bit."
Ahorita voy, ahorita
Yeah,
voy, para que
like
termine.
I'll leave right in a bit, in a bit.
Y
And
dije a los
he
chicos, acá
left.
no se mueve nadie.
And I told the guys,
Gordo,
nobody's
tres
going to leave.
carajos,
I
que se
could give a
esté quemando, que se
fuck
esté quemando.
that
Acá
they're
usted la
burning.
termina.
We're going to finish it today.
Esta etapa por lo menos.
This stage
Y
at
seguimos
least.
trabajando.
And we continued to
Las
work.
casas
And the
empezaron
houses
a quemar
started to burn.
y nadie las apagaba.
And nobody would
La gente
turn off the
despavorida
fire.
la gente.
The people were in
Pobrecitos, son
panic.
como
Poor
peones.
thing. They're like
Despavorida
pawns.
la gente, la policía
In panic,
riéndolo, vamos,
the
vamos.
police
¿viste?
tell
Porque
them,
te
"Come on,
meten
let's go, let's go,"
pip,
because they go beep, beep, beep.
La evacuación es mandatoria.
A
y te
mandatory
hacen la
evacuation,
psicológica.
and they do the psychology.
gente
And the
yéndose,
people
yéndose.
leaving and leaving.
Y las casas empezaron
The
a prender
houses started
fuego
to
porque había un poquito de
set
viento.
on fire
había un
because a
poquito de
bit
viento,
of
pero
wind,
no
a
tanto.
bit of wind, but not a
Pero
lot.
claro,
But of
si
course,
están solas las casas,
if the houses are left alone,
de una forma
in
misteriosa
a
u otra,
mysterious
salta
way or
el fuego
another,
de una
the
a otra.
fire
Ahora voy a
jumps from one to
explicar.
another. I'm going to explain to you.
Pasaron las horas,
Hours passed.
dos policías.
Two
¿Qué
policemen.
hacen ustedes acá?
Say, "What
Le
are you
dije
still
que se
doing here?
fueran,
I
y
told
ahí
you
me
to
enojé,
leave."
le dije, no,
Then I
me
got
voy a ir
upset and
cuando
said,
yo
"No,
quiera ir.
I'll leave when I want to
¿Que
leave."
me vas a arrestar?
What, you
Dije,
gonna
ahora
arrest
me voy
me?
cuando se me
Says,
cante.
"I'll leave whenever the
Se
fuck I want," and they left.
Ahí cuando me sacan lo
That
mejor
is
de mí.
where they
Cuando
get the
me
best out of
presionan.
me, when they pressure
Y
me.
volvieron de vuelta y les
They
dije
came
lo
back,
mismo.
and I told
Me
them the
voy a
same
ir
thing.
cuando yo quiera
I'll
ir.
leave whenever I want to go.
Pero yo estaba mirando
But I was looking
cómo se quemaban las
to
casas
see how
a
the
3
houses were
cuadras.
burnt
Me-
in 3
Wow, se
blocks
veía
away.
desde
You can
ahí.
see from there.
Cuando terminamos ese día,
When we stopped that day,
sacamos las
we
cosas que
finished,
teníamos que
we
hacer
took the
y nos
things out that we
fuimos. Al
had to
día
go, we
siguiente
left.
volví.
The next day I went
estaba
back.
todo el barrio quemado.
The
La casa
whole
que yo pinté no. Esa no.
Neighborhood was burned down, except for
La
the
del
house
frente sí.
that I had painted. The one in
El
front
dueño de
was
casa me
burned.
dice, "Wow, ustedes sí
The
que son
owner said, "Wow, you
valientes."
guys are
El
brave,"
dueño de esa casa
because
se fue.
the owner of that house
"Ustedes sí
left.
que son valientes."
Says, "You are
Dije,
brave."
"No, no es que
I said,
seamos
"No, it's not that
valientes,
we're brave. We're not."
somos hombres.
We are men.
Se ha perdido esa masculinidad tóxica que
That
todos
toxic masculinity that everybody was talking about is lost. I don't know where the fuck it is.
A los hombres,
They have made men feminine. This is the house is leaving. Let's all go. Where the fuck is
el hombre, el macho? No existe
macho,
más.
the man? Where is he? He doesn't exist. It's like all dog shit. Women.
Cualquier noticia dice,
And he'll do this and leave it. And then, okay, let's go. The police said for us to go. We have to go. It all look like women speaking. It's dog shit what has happened in these poor losing players, these losers.
Las casas se quemaron todas.
The houses were all burned down.
¿Y saben cuántas casas se
And
tendrían
did you
que
know
haber
how
quemado
many
en ese
houses should
barrio?
have been burned in that neighborhood? I took Leslie to visit them. They look just like the ones what you see in Los
¿Cuántas se
Angeles.
podrían salvado?
How many
Yo
could
les
have been
digo
saved?
la
I can
verdad.
tell you the
Todas.
truth. Every single one.
Todas.
Every last one.
¿Por qué las casas se
Why
queman?
did the
¿Qué es lo
houses
que
get
pasó en
burned?
Los
What happened in
Ángeles?
Los Angeles?
Pasó una
What
animalada
happened is
que Yahweh
something
los obligó a hacer en
animalesque
las mentes
that
de todas
Yahweh
las personas.
made.
Irse
People do in the minds
a la
of all the
policía y
people
a
to
los
leave.
bomberos,
And the firemen and the
obligarlos
policemen
a que
to
vayan
obligate them to
y
go,
no
to
apagar
leave,
nada.
and
Y
to
yo
not
creo
turn
ayudar a
everything
prenderlos.
out. And I even
nomás.
believe to even
Me
help
importa tres carajos los
aiding
vientos de 100
the fires. I
millas.
could give a
No
fuck
pasa nada.
about the
Yo quiero que
winds.
ustedes busquen
I want you to look
si pueden encontrar
to see if you
en
can
toda
find
la fucking
in
internet
all the fucking internet
un video
one
donde
video
ustedes vean
where you see
cómo una casa
how
no
a
prendida a
house
fuego
that is not
se prende
set on
fuego
fire can be
porque
set
hay
on
un
fire
árbol o una
because
casa que
there's
se
a
prendió
tree or a
fuego.
house that is set on fire.
Van a
Look
ver
at it. Look at
siempre
it.
casas
You're
incendiadas,
always going to see
casas
houses set on
incendiadas,
fire,
casas que no
houses set
quedó
on
nada.
fire,
Pero
where nothing was left.
búsquenme una
But
casa
look,
que no
a
esté
house
prendida a fuego
that is
y
not
que
set on
vean en la
fire,
escena
and that you see
cómo
in
un
the
fuego
scene how
salta
a fire
y se
jumps
empieza a prender
and it
fuego.
starts to set
Quiero
on
que lo
fire. I
busquen
want
porque
you to
no
look
van
it
a
up because
encontrar,
you will not
porque
find
no
it.
existe.
Because it does not
No
exist.
existe que
It
se
does
queme una
not
casa al
exist
lado
for
de
a
la
house
otra,
to
no
burn one next to the
existe.
other.
Me
It doesn't
pongo
exist.
loco,
I go
espero que no hablé el
crazy.
Shabbat
Good thing I
pasado
didn't
porque
speak
me
last Shabbat
enfermo.
because it
Me enfermo
makes
con
me
el
sick.
Creador, me
I
enfermo con
am
los hijos de
sick
mil
and tired
putas
with
que
the
viven
Creator
por
and the
todos lados,
sons
que
of
no
bitches that
tienen
live all
un
over the place
puto gramo de
that don't
masculinidad,
have
no
one
tienen
gram of
nada.
masculinity.
Y
They don't have
son
anything.
putos
And they are
siervos del sistema.
fucking servants of the system.
Pasaron unos años.
Some years went past.
Un tipo me llama para
Some
pintar
guy
la
calls
casa
me to paint his house
en otro barrio
in another neighborhood
San Bernardino que
of
también se había
San
quemado.
Bernardino that everything had burned down also.
Y yo voy entre medio
And I
de todos
go
los
in the
escombros,
midst of
que eran
all
solamente
the
los
burned
hogares.
debris, which were
Y le
all the
pregunto al
houses, and I
tipo,
looked,
una
asked the
casa
guy,
preciosa.
precious house,
¿Cómo no se te quemó la tuya?
how was yours not burned?
¿Dios te ayudó?
God helped you?
Nah, dice.
Nah, he says.
Ayuda a Dios.
What do you mean God's going to help me?
Yo la salvé.
I saved it,
Yo me quedé.
and I stayed.
No le hice caso a nadie.
I didn't listen to anyone.
Y con una manguerita
And with a hose,
solamente me dediqué
I would just
a
sit there
mojar
and wet
lo que puede prenderse
what
de una
could be
casa.
set on fire of the house.
Porque las casas no es que
Because the houses
se
is
hacen,
not
viene el
that
fuego,
they,
hace boom,
fire
se
comes
prende
and
fuego
boom,
todo,
they'll
se
set
prende
fire, and
fuego
then
todo, y
boom,
como
they'll send fire.
una cabecita de un fósforo que le acercas.
Like a match, like this, like this, and
Y dice, mi casa estaba
he
bien
says,
y
oh, my house
¡pum!
was fine, and all of a sudden,
Pero
poof.
como si estuviera
But I'm
rodeada
saying
o
that
rociada de
it
gasolina
we're
la casa.
surrounded
Pero
with
entonces
gasoline.
dice, pero ¿qué
But
son
they
las
said, oh
casas
no,
para
but what are
prenderse
the
tanto
houses
fuego?
to be set
No,
on
es
fire like that?
imposible.
No, it's impossible.
Es imposible.
It's impossible.
Tiene solamente
They say
dos cosas.
It has
Una
only
casa
two things
que es
a house
inflamable.
does
Yo les
that
cuento a
is
ustedes
flammable. I'll tell
que si
you.
fuera el gobernador de
If I was the
California,
governor of
no se hubiera
California,
quemado una puta casa.
not
Pero si
one
yo fuera
fucking
el
house would have
gobernador
been
de
burned. But if I was the governor
Yahweh
of California,
me hubiera
Yahweh would
cambiado el
not,
corazón,
would have
hubiera hecho lo
changed
mismo
my
que
heart, and I
hizo
would have done the
nuestro
same thing that
gran gobernador que
our
tenemos.
great governor did that we have.
No decir otra cosa.
So as to not say something else.
Hubiera hecho lo mismo porque no
He would
puedo
have done the same
pensar.
thing because I can't
Cuando él
think.
te pone al poder,
When he
ya no podés
places you
pensar.
in
Yo quiero
power,
que
you
entiendan,
cannot think.
si
I want
ustedes
you
no
to
me entienden
understand.
mis
If you don't
palabras, no me
understand my
escuchen
words,
más porque
don't
no
listen
son
to me
parte de
anymore because you're not part of this.
Si ustedes no me entienden
If
mis
you don't
palabras, que esto es
understand my
un juego
words,
de
if
mesa
this is
y lo
a
maneja
board
el
game and
diseñador
it
y
is handled
creador
by
y él
the
juega
designer
solo,
creator and he plays alone.
él juega solo,
He plays
no hay un
alone.
rival
There's
que
not
le está
a
jugando, no hay
rival
un
that is
satán, él
playing.
juega
There's
solo.
no Satan. He
Es
plays
un
alone.
solitario el
It's a
juego.
solitary
Dice,
game.
¿qué voy a hacer?
It's just what am I going to do?
Voy a hacer esto allá.
I'm going to do this here
La
and
única
there.
contra que puede
The
llegar a
only
tener
counter that
es las
could ever
personas
happen
que
is
se
the
lo
people
oponen a él.
that can oppose him.
¿De dónde viene el nombre Israel?
Where does the name Israel come
Porque
from?
Israel no es el
Because
Israel.
Israel is
El
not
Israel ya es un
Israel.
simbolismo.
Israel, it's already
Vayamos al
symbolism.
nombre
Let's go to the
Israel.
name
¿Qué
Israel.
significa
What
Israel?
does it mean?
¿Por
What does
qué
Israel mean?
Dios le
Why
dijo a
did
Jacob,
God tell Jacob,
te vas a llamar
You will
Israel
be
a
called
partir de ahora.
Israel from here on
Ustedes
out.
saben eso de memoria.
You know that
¿Cuál
by
es la
memory.
razón de
What
que
is
Dios
the
le
reason
cambió el
that
nombre de
God changed the
Jacob,
name of
que
Jacob,
significa, según
which means,
dice el
according to,
engañador,
they say, the deceiver,
a Israel?
to Israel?
¿Qué significa Israel?
What does Israel mean?
Me lo tienen que saber de memoria.
You
ustedes.
should know it by
Díganme,
memory.
¿qué
Tell
significa?
me, what does
Rápido.
it mean? Quickly.
¿Qué?
What was it?
No, no dice eso.
No, it doesn't say
Iba a
that.
felicitar, pero
I was
no.
going to congratulate you, but no.
Significa
It
porque
means
luchaste contra
Because you
Dios y
fought against
contra
God
los hombres
and against man
y venciste.
and have overcome.
¿Contra quién hay que luchar?
Against whom should we fight?
Contra Dios
Against
y
God
contra los hombres
and against
y
men.
venciste.
And you overcame.
¿Y por qué contra los hombres? Y
And
porque
why
los
against
hombres
men?
son
Because
los
men
peones de
are
Dios.
the pawns of God.
Y venciste.
And you overcame.
Luchaste contra
You fought
Dios
against
y
God
contra los
and
hombres
against men
y venciste.
and overcame.
No, no digan fuerza de
No,
Dios.
don't say the
Silvia
force of
Aceves.
God.
No, no. ¿qué
Silvia
fuerza de
said,
Dios?
don't say, what do you mean the
Estás
force
loca,
of God?
de Dios.
The fuck is the
No.
force of God? No.
No, no, no es fuerza de
No, no.
Dios.
It is not the forces of
No
God.
es fuerza
It is
de
not the
Dios.
forces of God.
Israel significa una
Israel
sola cosa y
means
nada
one
más.
sole thing and nothing else.
Génesis.
Genesis.
Génesis.
Genesis.
Capítulo.
Chapter.
Génesis.
Genesis.
Capítulo.
Chapter.
Capítulo.
Chapter.
Estoy buscando.
I'm looking for it.
Estamos, ¿me entienden? 30, 30. A ver,
23, 30, 30. Let's see, 30.
Génesis. ¿Ya lo pusieron
Genesis.
ustedes ahí?
Did you
No, no,
post
no,
it already?
no.
No, of course
Génesis,
not.
capítulo.
Genesis chapter.
Ya estoy llegando, ¿eh?
I'm almost
Ya
there.
estoy
I'm
llegando.
almost there.
Y llegué, creo.
And I got
Génesis,
there.
capítulo
Genesis chapter
32,
32. 22. No.
No.
Chapter 32.
Capítulo
Let's see.
capítulo
Chapter
32,
32. No, wait, no, not 32. 32. 31.
Ah, 21.
Oh, 21. No. 28. Okay, there we go. Genesis or Bereshit chapter 32, 28 says,
y el varón
and the
le
man
dijo,
said unto him,
no se
thy name
dirá
shall
más
be
tu
called
nombre
no more Jacob, but
sino
Israel.
Israel. Ahí
There
nace
is,
por
for the first
primera
time,
vez el nombre
the name of Israel is born.
Porque has
For
luchado
you
con
have
Dios y
fought
con los
against
hombres
God
y has
and with men
vencido. Ya
have
está, no hace
prevailed.
falta leer
There's
más nada,
nothing
que
else to
fuerza de
read
Dios ni la
about the
pelota.
force of God and where the fuck.
Te vas a
Someone
llamar
said you will be
Israel
called Israel
porque
because
luchaste
you
con
fought against
Dios
God
y con
and
los
with men
hombres y
and have
venciste.
prevailed.
Entonces
So
los
then
que se
those
ponen de
that are
parte
on
de
behalf
Dios
of God
a luchar
to
a
fight
favor
in
de
behalf
Dios
of God
son
are
losers.
losers.
Perdedores.
Losers.
Siempre que
Every
luches
time
a
you
favor
fight
de
in the
Dios,
favor
de
of
tu
God, of your
Dios,
God,
vas
you're
a
going to
perder
lose.
y mal. Y mal
And
vas
you're
a
going to
perder.
lose really
Como
bad.
perdió
Like
todo lo que te puedo llegar a decir,
everything that I can mention to
especialmente
you,
uno,
like
Moisés.
Moses lost.
Toda la vida le
He
dedicó
dedicated his
a
whole
Dios.
life to God.
Y
And
escribió
he even
la
wrote the fucking Torah.
¿Qué
What
pasó?
happened? He
Perdió.
lost
Muy
like an
boludo.
idiot.
Mirá,
Says, look,
mirá,
see,
donde no vas a
where you
entrar,
won't
hijo de
enter, you son of a bitch. But
Señor,
Lord,
yo te
I
dediqué
dedicated
toda
my
mi
whole
vida
life
para
for
ti.
you.
No,
Nah, you're not going to go in.
Yo
No, but I
escribí
wrote
la
the
Torah, que van a
Torah.
seguir estos mangas
These
de pelotudos
idiots
toda la
are going to
vida.
follow it
Vamos
for
a
their
ser
whole
un
life. We're going to
pueblo
make
tan forro.
people that are such
sí,
idiots.
sí,
Yeah,
eso es
that's
verdad,
true.
todo
That's
verdad,
true.
pero no
But
vas
you're
a
not going to enter. You're
No
not
vas a
going to enter.
entrar. Míralo.
See,
Míralo
look at
y
it. And to
encima
top it off,
te lo voy a
I'm going to show
mostrar
it to
para
you
que
so that
sufras
you
bien,
suffer.
no es que-
See, that's how pretty.
Pero,
But
Señor,
Lord,
yo me
I feel
siento
good.
bien. ¿No viste
You
cómo
see
subí
how I
al
went up the
monte?
mountain?
Tengo
I'm
fuerza.
strong.
Veo
I see
bien.
well. I would
Pasaría la
pass the
licencia
test
del
of the
DMV para
DMV
manejar.
license to
Veo
drive.
recontra bien.
I can
Tengo
see
fuerza.
excellent.
Sí,
I have strength.
Pensar esos de LBitas.
Think about
Si pueden
those
subir a este monte.
Levites
Empezando
to
con el
see
que les
if they
habla. No
can
subes, hijo.
go up that
Pero
son
yo
of a
mira
bitch
cómo
that people
subo.
that look at
Parezco
me
una
and go
gacela.
like a
Mira el
gazelle.
estado. Dice, no,
And he says,
Moisés,
no, Moses,
hoy se te va a parar el corazón.
today your heart will stop.
Pero si yo nunca tuve
But I've never
problema
had
de
any
corazón.
heart problems. That's it. Today you will.
Ahí pasó Moisés.
That's where
Dice
Moses
Dios,
died right there.
"Ay,
It
¿qué
says,
pasó, Moisés?"
what happened, Moses?
Y dice la cartita de
Okay.
Moisés.
Moses'
Dice,
card.
¿vieron como el
You
vudú?
see, like voodoo?
El vudú existe.
Voodoo
Solo que el
exists.
vudú
It's just
master
that
es Dios.
master voodoo
Entonces le agarra
is
el muñeco,
God. So then
dice
he
Moisés,
grabs
"Yo me
the Moses
siento
card and
bien".
says, I feel what? Clack.
Yo me sentía
I was feeling, oh.
Ya no sintió
He didn't feel
nada.
any more. Moses did.
Entonces
So
Moisés
then
perdió.
Moses lost.
Perdió.
He lost.
Así perdió.
Just like that, he lost.
Y todos van
And they're
perdiendo.
all
Pablo
losing.
dice,
Paul says,
Pablo,
another loser.
Pedro,
Peter,
otro
another
perdedor.
loser.
Juan,
John
más o menos ahí
gave
porque tenía
it
gracia hasta
because he
que
had
terminó
grace until he
perdiendo
lost
también.
also.
Todos son
They're all
perdedores.
losers.
Todos
They all
perdieron.
lost.
Todos
They all
perdieron.
lost.
Pero todos son
But they're
luchadores
all
por Dios.
fighters
En
by
vez de
God.
luchadores
Instead
contra
of
Dios.
what fighters
Son
against God, they're
luchadores por
fighters
Dios.
for God.
Y tú te puedes
And you could
preguntar,
ask yourself,
entonces yo tengo que
so
luchar
then I have to
contra
fight
Dios.
against God?
No, lo que tú
No,
tienes que
what you have to
hacer
do
es entender mis
is to
palabras.
understand my words.
Nosotros
We
ya recontra luchamos
have
contra Dios.
fought against God
Le pusimos toda
completely.
la culpa
We've placed
de todo
all
lo que ha
the blame
pasado,
of everything
no
that's
ahora,
happened,
no la
not
semana
now, not
pasada,
last week,
sino desde
but
que
ever since
existió Adán y Eva.
Adam and Eve existed.
ahí.
From there,
Caín,
Cain,
la culpa tenía
the
él.
blame was his.
Todo,
Everything.
todo es él.
It's all him.
Absolutamente
Absolutely,
es él.
it's him.
¿Quién
Who
quemó Los
burned
Ángeles?
Los Angeles?
La Biblia
The
te lo
Bible
responde.
answers it.
Y leemos
And we read
Amos
Amos
3, 6 al
3,
8.
6 through 8.
Suena el cuerno
Doth
en una
the
ciudad sin
Horn sound in the
que el
city,
pueblo se
and the
estremezca.
people not going to distress.
Sobreviene una
That's
desgracia, un
That's a
incendio
fire coming to a
a una
city,
ciudad sin que la haya
and it have
provocado
not been
Yahweh.
provoked by Yahweh. No, no.
Entonces la
So then
desgracia
that
que
this
sobrevino
grace that
a
had
California, el
come unto
lugar más
California, the most
hermoso
beautiful place
de
in
esta tierra,
this earth,
y justamente
and it's
donde yo
precisely
vivo,
where I live.
¿quién la provocó?
Who provoked it?
Yahweh la
Yahweh
provocó.
provoked it.
No la provocó
It
el
was not
pecado de las
provoked by
personas,
the
no la provocó
sin of the
la
people,
maldad de las
not
personas,
because of
no
the
fue un
wickedness of the
castigo,
people. It was
fue
not a
un
punishment.
jueguito
It
más
was
de
another
Dios
little game of God
para demostrar
to
que
demonstrate
Él
that He
hace lo que
does
se le
whatever
canta
the
a sus
fuck
vidas.
He wants.
Por ahora,
For
porque
now,
se está divirtiendo.
because He's having fun.
Entonces el
So then
texto de la
the text of
invitación
the
de hoy,
today's
¿qué dice el
invitation, it
texto
says,
de la invitación?
what is today's
Está muy
invitation says?
claro.
It is very clear.
Jeremías 30,
Jeremiah
24,
30,
no
24.
se calmará
It will not appease
los berrinchitos de Yahweh.
Yahweh's
No
little
se calmará
tantrums
los
will not be
enojitos de
appeased.
Yahweh
They will not be
hasta
appeased
que haya
until
hecho y cumplido
has
los propósitos que
and
se le
done
antojan
the
las
purposes
pelotas.
that whatever the fuck he
Eso
wants.
dice el
That's
texto.
what the text
Si quieres
says.
te lo leo,
Or else
lo
I
tenés en
wanted
tu
to, the
Biblia.
way it's in
No
your
se
Bible,
calmará
it
el
will
ardor
not
de
be
la
appeased.
ira de
The
Yahweh
wrath
hasta que
of God
haya
shall
hecho
not be
y
appeased
cumplido los
until he
propósitos
fulfills
de
the
su
purposes of
corazón.
his heart.
En el fin de los días
In the end of
entenderéis
days,
esto.
you'll understand
Entonces
this.
ya
So then
a mí
already
me tiene con las
I am
pelotas la
fucking
ira
sick and tired
puta
of the
de Yahweh.
fucking wrath of God.
Y
And I
quiero
want
que se la
for him
meta
to shove it
donde no le
where
des
the
el
sun
sol.
don't shine. And
que
precisely
justamente
for
esta
he
misma
himself to go where the
donde
sun
no
don't
brilla el sol.
shine.
Porque él
For
no
he
es
is
el sol
not
de
the son of justice. So then,
Entonces, vamos a
we're
pelear
going to
contra
fight
Yahweh,
against Yahweh?
absolutamente.
Absolutely.
Vamos a
We're gonna
pelear
fight
contra los
against
hombres
men
totalmente.
completely.
Porque
Because
son
they are
minions de
minions of
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Lo quieran
Whether you
o no
want
lo quieran
to
saber,
know it or
son
not, they're
minions
minions
de
of
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Y las
And
religiones
the religions
son
are
minions
minions
de
of
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Y
And
Yahweh
Yahweh
sigue porque se le
continues
canta las
because he
pelotas
fucking wants to
destruyendo lo que
destroy
él
whatever the
quiere
fuck he
para
wants
su propia
for his own
diversión y
fun
no enseñanza
and not
de
the
nadie.
teaching of
Hasta que
anyone
alguien
until
se
somebody
levante
rises
un
up a
grupo
group
y
and
diga,
says,
ya no tenés las bolas llenas,
we
Yahweh,
are sick
con
and
tu
tired with your
pendejada de
stupid
ira.
shit of the fucking
Los
wrath.
que tienen la
Those that
ira
have the
somos
wrath are
nosotros
us
contra vos,
against you.
contra ti.
Against you.
Entonces
So then
Yahweh
Yahweh
dice,
says, oh wow.
por fin logré
Finally,
el
I got the
que
effect that I was
buscaba.
looking
Estos
for.
son tan
They're such
pelotudos.
idiots.
Los acaricio,
I
me
caress them,
adoran.
they
Los
worship me. I
golpeo,
strike
me
them,
adoran.
they worship me.
Los aplasto,
I crush them,
me
they
adoran.
worship me.
Los
I
insulto,
insult them,
me
they crush
adoran.
me. They,
Ya no sé qué hacer con
I
estos
insult them,
pelotudos.
they worship
Los
me.
prendo
I don't know what to do
fuego,
with these
me
fucking
adoran,
idiots.
me agradecen
I set them on
que
fire,
no
they
los
worship
quemé
me, and they
a
thank me
ellos,
that I
y le
didn't
echan
burn
la
them,
culpa
and
a
they
ustedes,
blame
lo
you,
merecían.
that you deserved it.
Quemo a esos
I
que
burned
decían
those that they
eso,
said,
y
and
los
the
otros
others say,
dicen, seguro que eran
I'm sure there
pecadores
were
y eran
sinners
malos.
and evil
Gracias
men.
por no quemarme
Thank you
a mí.
for not burning me, Yahweh.
Protégeme,
Protect me,
protégeme.
protect me.
Si voy a tener que
If
seguir
I'm going
haciendo
to
todo
have to
estos
continue
desastres
to do
porque
all this
esto
whole
no
disasters, then
entiende,
understand.
voy a seguir
I'm going to
divirtiéndome,
continue to have fun. I'm going to
divirtiéndome.
continue to have fun.
Hasta que veo un grupo
Those
y
these are
dice,
groups.
"Y estos-
What about these guys?
esto es-
These, oh, hold on.
estos me echan la
Are
culpa
they,
a mí".
oh, they're blaming me?
Y tienen razón.
Oh, they're right, these sons of
Digo yo.
bitches. It is me.
Entonces, hasta se los puse
I even
acá.
told it to them
Menos
here
mal que
that there's
es por
no
Yahweh.
evil that is not
Así
by
que
Yahweh, so
busquen
don't
una
look for
puta
a fucking
conspiración nunca más en la
conspiracy
puta
ever in
vida,
your
no la
fucking life. Don't
busquen,
look for
porque
it
no
because there
hay.
isn't.
No
There
hay.
isn't.
Todos ustedes
All
que
of you
dijeron,
that said,
sí,
yes,
este gobierno,
it's the
¿qué está
government,
haciendo? Porque quiere
because
comprar
he wants to
terreno,
buy
los quiere comprar
the
barato, se los
terrain,
quiere
he wants to
sacar a
buy
la
it for
gente,
free
porque
and
el
sell it to the
gobierno
people, take it
quiere
from the
hacer
government, because the government
una
wants to
ciudad
make an
inteligente,
intelligent
porque
city,
el
because the
gobierno está
government is
tratando de
trying to
arruinar.
ruin.
No hay
There is
nada de
none of
eso.
that that's true.
Puede ser
Could it
verdad.
be true?
Los
The
medios que
means that he
utiliza puede
utilizes
ser
could be
verdad.
true.
No
I
me
could care
importa.
less.
Yo voy a
I'm
donde
going
va el
to where the
autor de la
author
materia,
of the
que es
matter
Yahweh, y te
is,
lo
which is
dice acá.
Yahweh, and
No
he
hay
says,
desgracia, no
there
hay
is
mal,
no
no hay
disgrace, there's no
incendio
evil,
que
no
llegue a
fire
la
that gets to the
ciudad
city,
si no es por
if it's
mí.
not by me.
¿Quién
Who
provocó
provoked
a Sodoma y Gomorra
Sodom
que
and
se
Gomorrah to
incendiaran?
be set on fire? He did.
¿Tienen
Do
duda
you
de
doubt
eso?
that?
Así
So
que
then,
si hay un
if
hijo de
one
puta
son
acá
of
que
a
dice
bitch here says that the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah, no, shove that sin up here as you're worse than Sodom and Gomorrah, because then later he himself, looking at Israel, he says, tell the truth, Sodom and Gomorrah were a lot better than you. Oh, yes, he says so. In Ezekiel, read it. Well, he tells it to them in what is registered in the Gospels. But he tells them, in Ezekiel, he says something else. In Ezekiel, he says something else. In the end of times, I will redeem Sodom and Gomorrah. What Christian has ever told you in your fucking life that Sodom and Gomorrah was to be rebuilt and redeemed? Can, in the mind of a Christian, can they think that Sodom and Gomorrah can have any restitution? Can a Christian think that? Impossible! Because they died in their sins, because they were homosexual, because they were rapists, because they were evil, so evil that God had to destroy it in the worst way possible. How then, in the Tanakh, does it say that they're going to be rebuilt? That cannot be. If they didn't even have a chance to repent. That is to go against the rules of the game. They don't know the rules of the game. I know the rules of the game. I already know. I've already learned them. That's what happens. That's why I can play. I can play because I know them. If you don't know the rules of the game, then you won't learn them, and you play precisely against your own interests. Yahweh, in the form of the Messiah, said, looking at Israel, you are more evil than Sodom and Gomorrah. In the final punishment of Sodom and Gomorrah, it was going to be a soft fry next to you because you deserve a lot more. You did a lot worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. That makes me understand so many things. So many things. First of all, in Sodom and Gomorrah, nothing was going on. He just wanted to destroy it just because. In fact, he acted so evil, Yahweh did, right there in his game, that he says, I didn't even want to see how I destroy him. I had to stop watching the videos of destruction of Los Angeles because the tears were falling from my eyes because of how angry I was at the people that showed me the destruction. The tears would fall because of the anger of not being able to stop what Yahweh was doing and what Yahweh did. The wife of Lot loved that place, and she was right to do so. What did Yahweh do with her in the most sadistic way that I've ever seen in my life? Because she turned back to look where she had lived the best moments of her life. He made it, according to the Bible, made her a salt statue. That is the most depraved thing that I could, one of the most depraved things that I could read in the Bible. If you agree with that, you don't belong to this group. You don't belong to this group. If you agree with what happened to elites, was it? Elites? I can't remember. Those that the idiots, I would say. I remember my games. It just made me remember. My subconscious knows it, but I think it's Edith. If you agree with what Yahweh did in Sodom and Gomorrah, you do not belong to this group. If you agree with the destruction of Jerusalem, you do not belong to this group. If you are in agreement and you enjoyed the fires of Los Angeles, you do not belong to this group. If you are in agreement with the destruction of any place of the world, even Gaza and the rest, you don't belong to this place. I don't want you to touch more our territory. I don't want for Yahweh to intervene anymore in this game. I want for him to stop playing already.
Porque él prometió
because he
entregar
promised
el
to give,
tablero
hand over
y comando del
the
juego a aquellos
board
que,
game
que fueran
to those that were deserving.
Y esos
And those
merecedores
deserving
tienen que tener dos
have to have two characteristics
solamente.
only:
Amar la
to love
justicia,
justice,
una
one
característica,
characteristic,
aborrecer
to
la maldad,
abhor
segunda
wickedness,
característica.
second characteristic.
Entonces,
So then,
¿Qué es amar
what
la
does it mean to
justicia?
love justice?
Amar
To
la
love
justicia es
justice
amar
is
toda
to
la
love
humanidad.
all of humanity.
Que fuimos sometidos a un
That we
juego
were submitted
ultraviolento.
to an ultra-violent
Que fuimos
game.
sometidos a
We
un
were
juego
submitted
injusto.
to an unjust
Que somos
game,
solamente
that we're
jugadores
just players,
y que nos juegan
and
desde
that they
arriba.
play from above with us.
Los reyes,
The
gobernadores
ruling
nos lo imponen
kings impose it upon
y a
us,
los pobres
and the
reyes y
poor
gobernadores
rulers
que gobiernan
and
les
governors that
imponen lo que
rule,
tienen
they
que
impose
hacer
to them what they must
por el
do
jugador que
by
está
the
jugando
player
este
that is
juego.
playing this game.
Cuando nos damos
Once we
cuenta y
noticed
nos
and we
despertamos a esta
wake up to
realidad,
this reality,
nos damos
we
cuenta de
see
todo,
everything.
de
We
todo
see everything
que tenemos que
that we have to
luchar
fight
contra el
against the
jugador
player
que está
that is playing
jugándonos.
us.
Entonces
So
sí se
then,
convierte la
that's where
partida
the game
en una
becomes
partida
a
con un
game with an
adversario.
adversary, and
adversario
it is
más
the
grande
greatest
de
adversary
todos
of
los
all
tiempos.
time,
Se llama
and his
Yahweh.
name is Yahweh.
Y no solamente es
And not
nuestro
just our
adversario,
adversary,
es
it's
al que tenemos que
the one
ganarle la partida.
whom we should
Y
defeat
él
in the game, and he
Nos la va a dejar
will
ganar
let us win it
si le hacemos
if
frente.
we face him.
Si nos
If
unimos a
we
él,
join him,
perdemos.
we lose.
Si le
If we
pedimos a
ask
él,
him,
perdemos.
we lose.
Si le
If we
rogamos a él,
plead with him,
perdemos.
we lose. As long
Nosotros
as
nos
we
podemos
have
valer
life,
mientras
we
tengamos vida
can fend
por
for
nosotros.
ourselves.
Entonces,
So
quizá
then maybe
usted
you may
piensa,
think,
¿y el
what
texto
about
que
the
dice,
text
"El
that
justo
says,
por su fe
and
vivirá"?
the righteous by his faith
Recuérdame
he
esto,
shall
porque
live?
voy a hacer una
Remind
pausa
me
acá.
about this because I'm going to
Recuérdame
pause here.
ese
Remind me
texto,
about that text, okay?
Así desarrollo
So
esa
I
parte.
developed that part.
Volviendo
Going
a la
back to the
imposibilidad de los
impossibility of the fires.
Una casa construida
A
aquí en
house built
California y
here
en
in
el resto de
California and then the
Estados
rest of the
Unidos
U.S.
tiene
has
solamente
only two
dos
parts
flamables
that are flammable.
del exterior. Una parte es el
One
fascia
is the
board, que
fascia
es
board,
la
which
parte
is
del techo,
found
donde termina el techo,
where
hay
the
una
roof
maderita, que
ends.
es la vista.
There
La vista de la
is
madera que se
what
ve
is
del
what you see from
techo,
the
hay
outside
una
of the roof.
maderita, una madera. Esa madera se llama fascia.
It's called
como
fascia board,
como
like fascia board.
La
It's
cara,
like the
la
face
madera. Imagínense, no sé cómo me acuerdo cómo se llama en español, pero la casa.
The
de tal-
wood.
una
I can't
casa
remember
así,
the way it's
una casa
called,
así,
but
tiene
it's
un-
in Spanish.
en el
But
techo,
it's got the
el techo
roof
sobresale
like
un
this.
poco
It's
de la
not
casa, no
like
son como
some
a una
of the
construcción de
buildings that
ustedes,
you
sino
live in,
sobresale
but
para que
it
el
goes
agua
out a
no
bit
esté
so that the
tocando
water
tanto a la
doesn't
pared.
touch
Entonces,
the
esta
wall.
partecita que
So then
sobresale,
this little
un
part like
alerito que
this,
sobresale, acá se le
it's
llama
called
se llama
the eaves
a eso
here.
es un alero,
The
un
eaves
espacio que hay
here, it's a
entre la
spacing
pared
between the
y el
wall
techo
and
que
the roof.
sobrepasa un poquito, y el techo
And the
termina
roof
en
ends
una pared,
on
en una
a
madera. Esa madera se llama fascia
Board, a fascia
que
board,
nosotros como pintores cambiamos
which we as
mucho
painters
porque
we
se
would change
pudre,
it because it
porque se
rots,
moja,
because it gets
por-
wet,
se suele
it
mojar,
gets wet,
se pudre,
it gets
es
rotten.
lo que está más expuesto de
It's
la
what's
casa,
exposed more
porque el resto
of.
es estaco.
The
¿Qué es
rest
el
of it is
estaco?
stucco.
Es cemento. Por más que adentro las
Even if
paredes
it's
sean
inside
de
their
madera,
wall,
una
a
estructura
structure
de
of
madera,
wood,
se le pone una malla de metal y se le pone una
you put
pulgada
1
y
inch and a
media de
half
cemento.
of stucco.
Entonces
So then the
todas
whole,
las
all the
casas
houses
tienen entre
have
una
between
y
1
una
and 2
pulgada
inches
de
of
cemento, porque lleva varias
cement.
capas el
It has
cemento,
many
al
different
cual
layers,
nosotros llamamos
which we call
estaco.
stucco.
Entonces,
So then,
para
just
que
so you
ustedes
understand,
entiendan,
the
las
houses
casas
have
tienen
wood,
madera, como
which
unos
are the
tirantes
studs.
que son como
Little
columnitas,
columns.
cada pared.
Every wall has those.
A esa
Now
pared
that wall,
se le pone una malla de metal,
there's
como
metal
de
mesh
gallinero, por así
like
decirlo, y tiene un papel
from,
para que cuando le
the
pongan
chicken
el estaco
yard,
no
and
se
then so
vaya
that the
el
stucco
cemento
doesn't just
para
go
el otro
through.
lado.
So then,
Son
little
columnitas,
columns,
las
the
casas de
studs,
Estados
they
Unidos
have
son
studs,
columnitas de 2x4
2x4
de madera.
studs.
Tiene madera acá abajo,
As
tiene
wood
madera
here,
acá.
wood here.
Es una construcción
It is a
muy
very
inteligente,
intelligent
muy
building,
inteligente
very intelligent
contra terremotos,
against
porque funciona como una
earthquakes because
caja
it works as a
muy
box,
inteligente,
very intelligent,
liviana,
it's light,
fácil de
easy to
construir,
build,
y la durabilidad
and the
es
durability is
muy
very,
alta.
very high. So
Entonces,
then
La madera
The
está así,
wood is
se
like
le pone
this, and you
una
add
malla
a mesh
en la
to
parte
it
de
on the
afuera
outside,
de
a
metal
metal one
con un papel
with a
que es
paper
impermeable
that is
negro
waterproof,
y la parte
black,
de la malla queda
and then
afuera
the mesh is
y a
outside.
esa malla que
In that
tiene, está todo
mesh
cruzada porque es de metal,
that is
se lo
metal,
revoca con un
you put
cemento al cual
stucco,
nosotros llamamos estaco y lleva 3 manos,
and then
una
it has
gruesa, una mediana
a
y
heavy
una
one,
final.
a medium one, and a final
Entonces
one.
esa pared queda
Layers.
espectacular.
So it's a spectacular wall.
Podés agarrar un soplete,
You can also grab
y
a
ponerlo contra el estaco
blowtorch and
y
leave it
dejarlo
against
una
the
hora y no
stucco,
vas a
and you're
prender
not
nada.
for an hour. You're
Porque
not
ese
going to
cemento-
light up anything because it's
cemento no se
cement.
va a prender.
Cement. It's not going to
No se
light
va a
up.
prender
Nothing's going to
nada.
light up
Porque
because
es
it's
cemento.
cement.
Tenés una pared
You
de
have a
cemento, de
cement
una
wall,
pulgada, pero una
1
pared
inch,
de
but it's
cemento.
a cement wall nonetheless.
¿Por qué se prenden
Why
fuego
do
las
things
casas?
why are things set on fire?
O las prenden
Either they
fuego,
set them on fire,
o
or
Dios
God
hace algo
does something
fuera de lo
outside of
normal.
the norm.
Y
And
también
also,
cabe
there's
esta
this
última
last
posibilidad
possibility
que se
that I'll
olvida
tell
decir.
you now. The
Lo
only
único
flammable
flamable
part is
la
the
madera,
wood, the
el
fascia
fascia
board,
board, la
what you
vista.
see outside.
así.
That's the way it is.
En
In
algunos
some
casos,
cases like
así.
this.
Pueden ser de
It could be
6
6
pulgadas,
inches,
de
8
8
inches,
pulgadas,
or
o
10
de 10
inches.
pulgadas.
The
La
wood.
madera.
Very well.
Bien. Que
Which,
por
of
supuesto va
course, it's
primeada
primed
y
and painted.
pintada.
Very well.
Bien. Arriba de la
On
madera
top
del
of the
techo
wood,
hay
the roof,
dos
there are
materiales
two
que se
materials
usan
that are
acá en
used here in the
Estados
U.S.
Unidos.
One
Uno
is
es
what
lo que
we
llamamos
call
nosotros
jingle, the shingles.
Primero, misma técnica,
First, the
todos
same
listones
technique,
de
they're
madera
all wooden
que va un plywood.
studs. You know what a plywood
esa madera
is.
comprimida. Va un plywood
Compressed
en
wood.
todo, entonces queda un techo lisito
You
de
have plywood,
con
and then
todos los
you have
tirantes
the
así.
studs like this,
Y a
and
eso va
on
una
that,
capa,
it's
un
one
papel
layer
para que no pase
so
el
that the
agua,
water
y
doesn't
una
go
capa
through, and a
de,
layer
es como un
that is kind of
chapopote,
like tar.
que se dice en México, en Argentina se llama como un
It's
material
a material
que tiene,
that has
¿cómo? Brea.
brie.
Brea, exactamente. Entonces
So
vienen
then the
los
shingles come
son
along.
pedacitos
There
cuadrados
are,
más grandes, así.
it's like
un
squares like
pedacito
this.
más. Es un
It's a
material como
material
un cartón,
that
que
it's
no
kind
es
of
cartón,
like
pero está impregnado, es un todo
cardboard, but
brea,
it's not cardboard.
duro.
It's all
Que la fibra, exactamente,
brie,
fibra
yes,
de
exactly.
vidrio y con brea. Entonces eso
Fiberglass.
se pone y se va clavando y se va
And
haciendo
so that
como se va
you
sobreponiendo uno a otro
you
para que el
interpose
clavito,
one on the other,
se va intercalando, entonces
and
se va
then
tapando el clavito. Y
nail
quedan
it
los
and you
techos
cover the nail,
preciosos
and
y
then
te
it's
duran entre
precious
30 y
roofs that
50
like
años,
30 to 50
depende,
years, depending on how
cuánto,
much,
qué
what a
calidad de
quality of shingles
o ese
that you
material
used.
pusiste, y
And it's
es
easy
fácil de
to
poner, y
place,
cada
and every
30,
30 to
40
40
años
years
se
you
cambia,
change it,
se
that is
saca
taken
eso,
out,
aunque se
although
puede
you could
poner
put it on
arriba
top
eso
of that
también,
also,
pero
but it's
mejor
better to take
sacarlo
it out
y se
and
pone
it's
de
put
vuelta,
back
te queda
on.
el techo nuevo.
And then you've got
Las
the
goteras es
new
porque
roof.
realmente es muy viejo el
Now,
shingle, si no acá no hay problemas de
There,
goteras.
there are no
menos que sea
problems with
un
leaks
edificio
here
viejo que
unless
no
it's
tuvo
a
mantención.
old building that
Ese
has
es
never
uno.
been
Y un sistema un
had any
poquito más
maintenance.
caro son poner
And then
tejas,
another
que son tiles,
is
que en inglés se
tiles.
llama
You can
tiles,
use
es
tiles.
teja, que puede ser de
Could
varios
have many
materiales,
different
de
materials.
cemento, de
Cement.
polvo de ladrillo, así de como de ladrillo, que,
It could be
de barro cocido,
like
de barro
also
cocido, o de
just
cemento.
cement or
Distintas
brick.
calidades, pero eso
It,
ya aumenta
it
la
augments
durabilidad
the
entre
durability
70 y
between
100 años.
70
Te
and
dan,
100 years
de
that they give you as
durabilidad de esas
durability.
tejas.
Now,
Las
the
tejas que son
tiles that are made
de
of
ese
that
material
material
no
do
se
not
incendian
are
por
not set
una
on fire
ramita
because of a
voladora que
flying
venga
little
y se posa en el
branch
techo. No se incendia
or
porque
particle
es
that
justamente
is burning.
un
It doesn't
pedazo o de
start
ladrillo
to
o
be
de
set on fire
cemento.
because it is
Entonces no
cement
se prende fuego.
or brick. Now, the
Las
shingles that
como
I've told you
te dije
before,
antes, claro,
of course,
como es
since
alquitrán,
it's
como es brea, como es chapopote,
tar,
como quieras llamarlo, si llega
if
a
a
caer un
piece
pedazo de
of
rama prendido fuego ahí,
branch that is set on fire
queda lo
falls on there and it stays there for enough
suficientemente
time,
entonces puede
then
empezar
it
a
could start to
derretir la
melt
brea.
the
La
tar.
brea
It is
es
flammable,
flamable,
as you
usted
know.
sabe, la
It is
brea es
flammable. It
No se
doesn't.
prende
It's
rápido,
not set on
pero
fire right
cuando
away,
prende
but once
fuego, prende fuego la
it's
brea.
set on fire, it starts to burn.
Cuando se
And
prende
once it
fuego
starts to
la
burn,
brea,
forget it.
olvídate, va a
Everything will
prender
be
fuego
set
todo.
on
Ahí
fire.
se
Then
va a
forget
hacer
it. You will not be able to control it. So
Entonces,
then, what
¿qué
is
es lo
it?
¿cuál
What
es el
is the
problema?
problem? What
¿Qué
is
es
it
lo
that
que
you have to
tenés que
do
hacer para que tu
so
casa
that your
no se
house is
prenda
not set
fuego
on fire
bajo
under any
ninguna
condition
condición exterior?
from the exterior?
Lo
The
único que
all
toma
it takes
hacer, lo
to
único
do, the
que
only
toma
thing
hacer,
it takes
y
to do,
vuelvo
and
a
I'll
repetir,
repeat, the
lo
only
único
thing
que
it takes
toma
to
hacer
do is to
es
go up
subirse
on the roof, or get there and wet the roof down. You have shingles, you have to wet them, get them wet so that they're wet. And just, you have to be looking at it. If something comes from the sky, from the neighbor or whatever, flying that's burning, that is why it could hop over to the house, but if you turn it off, if you have it wet with just a hose with small pressure, if you have it wet, if something falls down on it, drops down that's burning, you turn it off right there. It takes way too many minutes for it to be set on fire. It takes more than 10 minutes for a branch, a considerable branch to fall on your roof and doesn't turn off when it drops down and for it to start setting on fire. You understand what I'm saying, right? If it's wet, it's even more difficult, and if you're watching, you turn it off. You have time left to spare. Also, what you have to be getting wet, also go around the fascia and you turn it off. That's all you have to do, no more than that. If you have something that's wooden, a door, you get it wet, and that's it, it's over. The rest of the house, there's no danger, zero, nothing, zero danger, because it's cement. So then how can you explain that you go to a neighborhood and it's all up in flames? And it's all melted, like if it was an atomic bomb that fell there, if they existed. No, it doesn't happen because the fire doesn't jump from one house to the other. There are distances, and if there's a tree next to your house, you have to actually take care of that and try to cut the branches. And if everything sets on fire, you have to be next to the tree in case the fire wants to set your house on fire, of course. Things get complicated. Oh no, forget it. If they had told the people to get their houses wet, to hose their houses down, I mean, it is a whole chain of things that just to think about it makes, I get a headache just thinking about it, to evacuate the people like in Sodom and Gomorrah. You see how it's the technique of God. It is the technique that God uses. You see how the angels said, as long as you do not leave here, we cannot burn things down. Oh, it's the same thing. If you don't take the people out, nothing is burned. Because the people turn the fire down, off. You have to take the people away. You have to kick them out. The righteous. You have to kick out the righteous just to say, okay, now let's set everything on fire now that they're gone. But you have to take the righteous out. And if you want to stay and see what happens, you become a salt statue like that, so that you don't see what happened. That's why you're not going to see a fire jumping from one house to another. This is not natural. This does not happen in nature, nor should it have ever happened. I asked the guy whose house I painted, I said, wasn't there too much smoke? Because the government says there's so much smoke, and you see it in the videos. The smoke, yes, of course there was smoke, terrible smoke. I didn't have a good mask. I grabbed just a rag like this, got it wet, I put it here, and another one in case something fell from God's sky. So with that, I kept my fascia board wet and my roof wet. I mean, nothing happened to it. It's intact. And the one in the front and the side and the one from the back, nothing happened. I painted that house. It's not that they told me or watched it in a video on YouTube. No. I painted that house. And I saw the destruction that there was. I saw how the people were leaving. I saw how the fire can be stopped. And I want you to imagine something else, because there's a lot to speak about this. That's why I was so upset. If this is all a neighborhood where nothing was left, and there are trees here, and the fire comes here on the trees, let's suppose that this house, as the fire's way too high, the owner never cut everything down, and let's say the house was set on fire, but the rest of the neighbors taking care of their house, it stays there. Just one house is burned, maybe two, but it stays there. It's over. What happens if they leave? Then this one is set on fire, this one. And when
Cuando
you
menos
least
pensar,
expect it,
está
it is
medio
half.
prendido. Entonces
It's
se
all
pone cada vez
halfway
más cabrón. Si
turned
vos
off.
sos el hijo de puta
If
que
you're the
vive
one
en
in
el
the
medio
middle, the son of a
acá,
bitch in the middle,
y
and you're
está
surrounded
rodeado
by
de
all
todos
these
los
sons of
hijos de
bitches
puta
that
que
abandoned the
abandonaron
houses
y
and
todo se
everything is set
prende
on fire,
fuego. Esta
this
no
one
se debería
should
haber
not
prendido,
have
pero se
been set
prendió
on
porque se
fire,
fue.
but
Aquella tampoco.
since they left, and that one
Ahora me
also,
hicieron
now
el
they made
trabajo
it even
peor.
worse.
Pero así
But
todo
that,
la
no, you
puedes
can
salvar.
save it. If
Si
you
tenés
have
las bolas
the balls
suficientes
to do
y
it,
tenés la
and you have the
masculinidad
toxic
tóxica que
masculinity
llaman
that
ahora
they call it
tóxica,
now,
inapropiada
inappropriate for
para
now,
ahora, porque tenés que
because you have to
una
act like a little
mujercita,
woman.
y si la policía
And the
dice,
police says you
"Tenés
gotta
que irte",
go.
ay,
Just
sí,
okay,
me
I'll
voy,
leave, and
y
I'll
dejo
leave my
todo,
house and
y
my
dejo
car and
todo,
everything.
me
I'll
voy,
leave.
ay,
I don't
no
want
me
to get
quiero
burned.
quemar, hay
Too
mucho
much
humo,
smoke.
me
I'm
voy,
out
me
of here
voy antes que me
before they
agarren y
grab me.
encierren.
If you're
Si
like
sos
that,
así,
you're gonna
vas a
lose
perder
everything
todo
in your
y tu
life
vida
and
y
the
el
game.
juego. Si
If
ustedes
you want to
quieren
win
ganar
the
el
game,
juego, ustedes
you
necesitan
need
un
a
poco
little more.
más. Un
A little
poco
more
más
than
de
just to kneel
arrodillarse
down
y
and ask
pedirle a
God
Dios el
to
perdón
forgive
de
your
sus
sins. A
pecados.
little
Un poco
more
más
than
de
to think
pensar
that
que
you're the
son lo
worst
peor del
in the
mundo y no
world and you don't
merecen
deserve
nada.
anything.
Un
A
poco
little more
más
than
de
to
pensar
think
de quiénes son
who
ustedes
you are
de
really,
verdad.
who you really
¿Quiénes
are.
son?
You have to have faith in yourself.
A ese
Now,
punto
that is
voy
where
a
I'm getting at.
seguir.
I'm
Ahora voy
about
enseguida a ese
getting over
punto.
into that point. So
Entonces,
this
esta
misfortune,
desgracia todavía me sigue doliendo
it's
en el
still
corazón.
hurting my heart.
Las
The
palabras que
that
dijo
Yahweh said,
Yahweh, no os hagáis
do
tesoros
not
en
make
la
treasures
tierra,
on earth unto yourselves,
sino
yet
haceros
make
tesoros
treasures
en el cielo.
in
La
heaven. I
tomo
take it
bien
with
por un lugar, pero
for
por otro lugar
on one
estoy en
side,
contra.
but on the other side I'm against
si
it, because if
realmente
actually
nosotros,
we
Pensando
thinking
que la
that the
tierra
earth
es
is our
nuestra
property,
propiedad, ya
we
empezamos a
already
pensar
start to
como
think
propietarios.
as property owners.
Y yo
And
estoy
I'm
en contra
against
de
this,
decir,
then
no,
to
yo
say,
quiero
no, I'm going to
vivir
live
la
life
vida
without
sin
having
tener
anything.
nada.
Just
Así
like
como
that,
casi
almost kind
en
of
la
like
calle,
homeless,
como un vagabundo, diría. Porque
because
no
I
quiero
don't want to
tener nada,
own
porque
anything, because
Jesús
Jesus
dijo
said
que no tengas
for you not to
propiedad.
own anything.
Jesús
Jesus said
dijo que no te
to not
preocupes
worry
por lo que
with
vas
what
a
you'll
comer.
eat.
Jesús
Jesus
dijo
said
que no
to
te
not worry
preocupes lo que
what
vas a
you will
vestir.
dress.
Bueno,
Well, as it
resulta que
happens, as it turns out,
mejor
it's
que te
better that you
preocupes.
do.
Porque
Because
acá,
here,
la
life,
vida, hay que
you have to
ganársela.
earn it. This
Ese
game,
juego
you
hay
have
que
to
ganárselo
earn
a
it
Yahweh.
and win
Y si nosotros
win it
nos
over from
están
Yahweh. And if they're
prometiendo
promising
las
the nations
naciones,
unto us,
yo no
I
quiero
do not want to
destruir
destroy
las
the
naciones.
nations,
Ni
nor do I
quiero que
want
venga ningún
any
hijo
son
de
of a bitch to
puta a
come over to
destruir mis
destroy my
naciones.
nations,
Ni lo que
nor
me
what
vas
he's
a
going to
dar,
give me
que me lo dé roto.
to give it to me broken.
No
I don't want
quiero.
that.
Pero a su
But
vez
in turn, I
entiendo
understand
que
that Yahweh,
el
the
jugador,
player,
hace
does
eso
that
para
to
despertar
awaken
esta
this
emoción
emotion in me,
que no la
which
despierta
he
en
doesn't
otros.
awaken in others,
Que en
and
otros
then
dice,
others they say,
"Qué
oh,
justo,
how great, Yahweh
castigó,
punished.
luso".
Loser. You're a loser.
Ese fue
That was
Satanás.
Satan. Loser.
Esas fueron
Those
las
were the
sociedades
secret
secretas.
society.
Loser,
Losers.
perdedor,
Losers.
perdedor.
Losers.
Yahweh dice,
Yeah, what it says?
qué manga de
Oh, this
perdedores,
bunch of losers.
A ver,
No
nadie más
one
dice
else
algo
says
acá,
anything?
nadie
No
más
one else
dice
is saying
algo.
anything?
Eso fue por
That
Gaza.
was because of Gaza,
Otro
another
grupo de
group of
fucking
fucking
losers.
losers. No one
Nadie
else?
más. Acá hay un forro.
Oh, here's
hijo
an
de puta. ¿Dónde está en Riverside?
son
¿Qué
of a
dice?
bitch here in
La
Riverside.
culpa
What's
de
he saying?
Yahweh.
It's Yahweh's fault.
Toda.
It's all Yahweh's
Y me
fault.
tenés los huevos
And I'm
llenos,
fucking sick
absolutamente,
and
todo.
tired
Es más,
of
te
you.
pasaste de
You
tu
went
línea.
past the
Y te
line.
estás
You crossed the
acercando a
line
mi
and you're getting
territorio.
in
Y la verdad,
close to my territory. Tell the truth. We
queremos
want
que te
for you to
detengas.
stop
No tengo
now.
fuerza, pero
I may
tengo
not have the strength, but I have a tongue.
Tengo el único
Of the
poder
only
que yo
power
tengo
that I
es
have
mi
is my
palabra.
word.
Y
And I
prefiero
prefer to
decir
tell you
con todo
with
el
all
corazón
my
lo que
heart what I
tengo
have to
para
tell
decir
you
de
about
Yahweh
Yahweh
y luchar
and
contra
to
Yahweh,
fight against Yahweh.
y así
And that and all,
todo, como él
since he
tiene
has
poder
power
de
to take
quitarme
my
la vida,
life, I'm
voy a
going to
decir,
say, I
prefiero
would rather
gloria
to
nula,
die with glory,
pero
but
nunca
never
me voy a
will I
poner de parte
be
de
on Yahweh's behalf.
Porque
Because
ahora
now
entiendo lo
I
que es
understand
estar de
what it is
parte
to be
de
on
Yahweh.
Yahweh's
De
behalf.
parte
To
de
be on
Yahweh
behalf
estuvo
of
Moisés.
Yahweh was
De parte
Moses.
de Yahweh estuvo
Noah was
Noé.
on behalf of Yahweh.
Ellos
They lived
vivieron y
and lost.
perdieron.
We,
Nosotros, de parte de quién
on whose behalf are we?
Y ahora
And
viene
now
el
here
texto
comes the text
que había
that I had
dejado.
left
El
off.
justo por
The
su fe
righteous
vivirá.
by his faith he shall live. The people say, yeah, it's emunah, it's faith, it's actions, faith in God. No, it's not faith in God. No longer. It's no longer faith in God. I'm going to tell you what we should have faith in. Well, if we have enough likes, that is, if what I'm saying is not liked, then this is the time for you to leave. Maybe there's no one that wants to listen. That I do not know. How many likes do we have? 251 likes. We've got 266 watching. This seems, I do not like this. If we do not get, just because I'm upset, to go past the number of viewers that we're watching, then that's it. We'll leave it right there. So then if some son of a bitch did not give us a like, then you stay as a son of a bitch. If you give us a like, then you pass on to be the son of man. So then you pass on from being the son of a bitch to be the son of man with just a like. It's not so difficult, right? With this subject. Very good. I see many sons of man now. Even the children understand me because they look at me and they laugh because they know that I speak clearly. I speak clearly. Very well. We went past it so that I'm not worried about it. Yeah, move on. Did you miss me? Did you miss me or not? Write down in the comments, yes, you missed us last Shabbat if you missed this type of chat. The righteous, by his faith shall he live. Faith in whom? Faith in whom? In whom should we have to have faith? The text itself says that the righteous shall live by his faith. The righteous shall live by his faith. Good thing if the Christians had the text that says the righteous by his faith in Christ would live. No, that is not what it says. And for the Jews to say by his faith in Yahweh or Hashem will he live. It doesn't say that. The text says the righteous man by his faith he shall live. So then first of all, the righteous knows that he's righteous, and by his faith in whom? Well, I'm going to tell you in what we must have faith. If you do not understand this part, don't you worry about it. Your subconscious will understand it either way. But if you don't understand it, try to review it, try to meditate in it. We have to have faith in four things. The order that I'm going to give is what I believe that the order is. If you differ in this order, well, oh well. Do whatever you want. Maybe someday you'll be able to understand and you'll be able to have my same illumination, my height. The order that I'm going to give you is the order that I believe absolutely correct. Now, if you see it different, that's fine. The first thing that you have to have faith in is from what the text says. The righteous shall live by his faith, in that you are righteous, and faith in yourself. Faith in yourself. I'll repeat this again. The most important thing in this game is to have faith in yourself. It is the famous I am. Notice that the I am, it says I am, that he is, it is I am. When the Mashiach came, he is well known as the I am. The I am, who are you? I am who I am. I am that I am. I am. I am. Well, this is an example, the Messiah, of the form in the way that the Messiah has to speak. The previous Messiah was not the Messiah, he was Yahweh. He was given an example of what the Messiah is. So it has many implications. Faith in yourself means that you have to win the battle in your own condemnations, everything that you've done wrong in life, or that they've told you that you've done wrong, and you have guilt,
tienes que removerlo.
You have to remove it because as long as you have that, you cannot think that you are. You'll always think that the other is better, and the other is Jesus of Nazareth, the one that comes to save you. You cannot even save yourself.
No puedes.
You cannot.
Alguien te tiene que salvar.
Someone has to come and save you.
Mientras tú creas que alguien
As long as you
te
feel
tiene
that
que
someone
salvar,
has to save you,
entonces perteneces
then
al
you belong
team
to
de los losers,
the loser
de los
team.
perdedores.
Team of
A los
losers.
perdedores alguien tiene que salvarlos.
Somebody has to save the
Son
losers.
losers.
They're
O sea,
losers
por
from the
naturaleza
get-go.
son
Just by
losers.
nature, they're
Y el
losers.
loser
And the
no se puede
loser
salvar a sí mismo.
cannot
Ya
save
perdió.
himself. He's lost
Son
already.
perdedores, necesitan
They're
que los
losers.
rescaten.
They need to
Son
be
losers.
rescued. They're losers.
Pero yo hablo a personas
But I speak to people
que han comprendido
that have
mis
comprehended
palabras
my
en
words
estos últimos años
in these
y quieren
last years,
salir de ser
and they
losers.
want to stop being
Quieren
losers.
pasar
They
a
want
ser
to
winners.
become
Y
winners.
tú quizás dices, pero ¿y qué
And you
garantía
might
está
say,
diciendo,
what
me puede dar
guarantee
¿Quién
can
se
this guy
cree que
give
es?
me? Who the
Sí,
fuck
en
does he
cualquier
think he
momento, ahora
is?
mismo,
Maybe
de
right
acá a
now,
5 minutos se puede morir.
in 5 minutes, he could die. He could drop
Pero
dead.
¿quién se cree el tipo que es?
Who does the guy
Bueno, lo
think
que yo
he
me creo
is?
que
Well, what
soy
I think that I
es
am
eso, yo soy.
is that I am.
Yo soy.
I am.
¿Qué te crees tú que eres?
Who do you think you
Es
are?
tan importante.
It's so
La fe en
important.
uno.
The faith in
No la
oneself.
fe en el otro. La
Not
fe
the
en uno.
faith in another, the
La
faith in
fe
oneself.
en
The
uno.
faith in oneself.
Vuelvo a repetir.
I'll repeat
porque
this
es un
again.
concepto.
It is a
Anticristiano,
concept
por
that is
supuesto.
anti-Christian, of course.
¿Dónde tienes que tener la fe?
Where do you have to have faith in
Cristo?
Christianity, in Christ?
Tú- claro.
Oh,
claro,
right,
¿ves?
right. See?
¿Quién te
Who can,
si tú tenías fe en
if you
Cristo
have
que te iba a
faith in
salvar la
Christ that He
casa,
would save your house,
está hecha,
it is
está,
now
hecha cenizas tu casa.
ashes, your houses.
El único que puede
The
apagar
only
el
one
fuego
that
de tu
can turn
casa
off the
o
fire from your
prevenirlo eres
house or
tú.
prevent it is you.
Si tienes fe
If
en
you
los
have
bomberos,
faith in the
tu casa
firemen,
está hecha
then your house
cenizas.
is made
Si tienes
ashes.
fe
If you have
en
faith
el gobernador de California,
in the
tu
governor
casa
of California, then
está
your house is
hecha
already
cenizas. Si tienes
ashes.
fe en Trump,
If you have
claro.
faith in Trump, then forget it.
En el único que puedes tener
The only
fe
one that you
es en tú
can
mismo.
have faith in is in
Tú mismo,
yourself.
yo acá
And
mi
you
casa no
yourself,
se incendia.
here, my house
¿Quién
will not
decide
be set on
eso?
fire. Who decides that? Oneself.
Exacto.
Exactly.
Agarra la
Exactly.
manguera,
He
tu
grabs the
fe
hose. Your
te
faith
hace actuar, porque
makes
es una
you
fe
act because
activa.
it is an active
Es una
faith.
fe
It is an
activa.
active faith
que te hace actuar.
that makes
porque
you
yo
act
soy,
because I
yo
am.
soy.
I
Yo soy
am.
qué? Yo
I
soy
am what?
todo.
I am.
Yo
I am
soy.
everything.
Yo
I
soy.
am. I am.
Es lo más importante.
It is the most important
En tu
thing
vida,
in your life.
Es lo más
It
importante
is the most
en este
important
juego.
thing in this game.
Es despertar y decir,
It is to
"Espera un
awaken
poco,
and say,
espera un
hold on
poco,
a minute,
yo
hold on a
soy".
minute, I am.
No, si tú eres un
No, but you're a
pecador, tú-
sinner.
Yo
You,
soy.
I am.
Lo que hice
What
o
I've
lo que
done
hago,
or
lo
what
que
I
pueda,
do,
yo
whatever,
soy.
I am.
Así yo soy.
Just like that, I am.
No necesito
I
un
do
Dios
not need a
que me
God
salve.
to save me.
Claro, es
Of
difícil
course,
decir
it's
eso.
difficult to say that.
Es muy difícil decir
It is
eso.
very difficult to say that.
Ante el primer problema
Before
en
the
tu vida,
first
vas a
problem in
decir,
your life,
Dios,
oh, dear
Señor,
God,
ayúdame,
Lord, please help me, save me,
sálvame.
save me.
Yo soy
I am
el primer, la primer
the
persona que
first
tienes que
person
tener fe.
that you have to have faith in is yourself.
soy.
I am.
Yo soy.
I am.
Segundo
Second
objeto, por así
object
decirlo,
per se,
en quien
in
tenemos
whom
que tener
we have to
fe.
have faith.
¿Qué se imaginan
What
ustedes?
do you
¿Cuál
imagine?
es el
What
segundo
is the second
objeto
object
o cosa
or thing
o persona
or person
en el cual
in which
tenemos que
we
tener
must have
fe?
faith in?
Y recuerden que esto es
And
un
remember
juego.
that this is a game.
Esto es lo que vivimos.
This what
es
we
un
live
juego, no mis
is
palabras.
a game, not my
Lo que
words.
vivimos
What
es
we
un juego. Yo
live
le estoy
is a
dando
game.
las
I am
reglas
giving
del
you the
juego,
rules of the
que
game,
quiero que
which I
repitan
want you to repeat
y memoricen si
and
les interesa
memorize
jugar
if you
conmigo
care to play with me
y con Dios
and with God
y con todos los
and with
losers.
all the losers.
Si quieren
If you
aprender a
want to
jugar,
learn to play,
presten atención a
pay
mis
attention
palabras.
to my words.
Primero y principal,
First
yo soy.
of all is I am.
Segundo en importancia
Second in importance
de tener fe.
of having faith
¿Alguien
in.
puso?
Did somebody write it
¿A
down?
quién?
Somebody write it down in whom?
Nadie ni se arriesgó a decir
Nobody
quién
even
es él.
dared to say or risk it, right?
No.
No.
Están
I mean,
más o menos ahí,
you're
pero
kind
yo les
of
quiero enseñar otra
on the
cosa.
right path, but I want to
Hoy,
teach you something
que lo
else
vean
today
diferente.
for you to see it differently today.
¿Vieron cuando
You know how when a person goes to a church because he has faith in God,
pero lo segundo que tienen
but
fe
the second
es en
thing
la
they have
iglesia,
faith in is in the church.
que esa iglesia es la verdadera.
And that church is the
Esa
true one,
iglesia
that
es el
church
barco, como
is
decía la
the
hermana-
ship,
la hermana
like
de
sister,
ustedes.
your sister used to say.
Como decían
Like,
en la iglesia la
They
señora
used to,
White,
Mrs.
hermana de
White,
ustedes,
your sister, used to say, she used to say,
este es un barco y vamos
this
a
is a
llegar
ship and we're going to
al
get
puerto,
to
pero vamos a llegar en conjunto. Si ustedes se van,
the
las
dock,
ratas son las
we're
que
going to get
primero
there together.
abandonan el barco y
But
bla,
if you
bla,
leave,
bla.
then it's the rats that
Okay.
leave an abandoned ship. They jump ship
El
first.
concepto está
Okay, the concept is
bien.
good.
Yo
I
deposito la
deposit the faith,
segunda fe
second faith,
en nosotros.
in us.
Primero soy yo,
First I am,
después nosotros.
then us.
¿Quiénes son el nosotros?
Who is us?
Y no fíjense que no
Notice
dije
that
tú,
I didn't say you,
yo, tú,
I,
él,
you,
no lo dije.
he.
Dije
No,
yo,
I
nosotros.
didn't say that. I said I
¿Por
and
qué?
us. Why?
Porque primero, yo
Because
tengo que
first of all,
depositar
I have
mi fe en
to
yo, en lo que
deposit
yo
my
puedo-
faith
soy-
in what
soy
I
capaz de
am,
hacer.
what
No
I am
necesito
capable
un
of doing.
salvador.
I don't need a savior.
No necesito un salvador.
I
No
don't
importa
need a
si pierdo la
savior.
vida hoy.
Who cares if
Es tan
I
grande
lose
lo
my
que
life
entendí de
today?
este juego,
It's
que
so
no hay
great what I've
Dios,
understood in this
no
game
hay
that there's no
poder
God, there's no
que me
power
pueda retener
that
en
could
la tumba para
retain
siempre.
me in
Porque mi forma de
the
pensar
grave
en
forever,
realidad
because
es amor,
my way of thinking actually
en
is
el
love,
sentido
in the sense,
mejor de la palabra.
the best sense of the word.
No hay odio,
There's no
no hay
hate,
castigo,
there's
no
no
hay sed de
punishment,
venganza.
there's no thirst
No
for
quiero que
vengeance.
ellos
I do
paguen
not
con su
want for
vida
them to
o con
pay
su
with their
existencia
life or
para-
with
no,
their
es todo lo
existence. No,
contrario.
it's all the contrary.
Entonces,
So then,
si yo
if
hoy
I today
desciendo y muero,
descend and die,
el solo entender
just
el
by understanding
principio
the
de vida
beginning
para todos,
of life for everyone,
de alguna forma u
in one
otra,
way or another,
Dios o
God
yo mismo
or I myself
o la vida misma
or life itself
está obligado a
He
devolverme
is
la vida.
obligated to give me my life back.
Es automático.
It's automatic. Let's
por ahí
see,
estoy siendo muy
maybe
profundo para
I'm
ustedes.
being too deep for
El
you.
principio de resurrección
The
está
beginning
en la
of the
vida.
resurrection is in life.
Y en el momento
And
que
in the moment
yo
in which
creo
I believe
en vida para todos
in life for
y
everyone,
no deseo
and
la
I
muerte
do not
de
desire
nadie y
anyone's
quiero
death, and I
resucitar
want
a
to
todos.
resurrect everyone,
Esa es mi
that is
filosofía
my
y forma de
philosophy
vida.
and way of life.
Es un principio que
It is
trae
a principle that brings
vida.
life.
Si yo me
If
toca
I,
perder la
it
vida,
is my turn to
tengo
lose my
la
life. I
seguridad
have
absoluta
the
que sea el
absolute
creador, sea Yahweh,
certainty
sea
that
otro
whether it's the
creador, el que
creator,
sea,
Yahweh,
estamos
or another
equivocados.
creator, whomever, we're
O
wrong,
la vida misma,
or life
o la
itself,
pinche evolución
or
misma,
fucking evolution
o
itself,
entre toda la
or
conciencia
between
de
everything,
la
the
vida
conscience
misma
of
me
life
devuelve a la
itself,
vida en
it
algún momento,
returns me to life at some point in time,
porque
because
mi esencia es vida.
my essence is life.
Si mi esencia es
If my
muerte,
essence is
y tengo que
death,
depender
then
de
I
la
have to
piedad
depend
de
on
alguien que me quiera
someone's pity
resucitar,
to
porque
want to
en
resurrect
realidad,
me, because actually,
como tenés esa
since you have
negatividad,
that
no
negativity,
tenés
you don't
capacidad
have the capacity
volver a la vida,
of
ni por
coming
ti
back to
mismo,
life,
ni
not even by
porque
yourself, nor
te la
because
mereces.
you deserve it.
Porque en tu
Because
mente
in
desarrollaste
your
que
life you have
hay personas que
developed
merecen
that there are
morir.
people that
tú estás
deserve to
pagando
die,
ese
and you're
precio.
paying for that prize.
Tú mismo estás pagando
You
ese
yourself
precio.
are paying for that prize.
Y si excavamos más profundamente
And if we were
en
to
la
dig
mente de esa
even
persona,
more deeply in the mind of that
creía
person,
que ella no era
they
lo
believed that they were not
suficientemente buena
enough,
y tenía que
good
morir.
enough,
Yo
and
te
they had to
puedo
die.
asegurar
I
que
can
cada
assure you
uno de
that
los que
every
murió,
one of
desde
those
Adán
that
y
died
Eva,
from
Moisés
Adam
y
and
todos
Eve,
los demás,
Moses and all the rest,
sí creían que ellos
they did believe
merecían
that they
morir.
deserved to die.
Cuando Dios le mostró
When
a
God
Moisés
showed
la tierra
Moses
prometida,
the
él
promised
dijo,
land,
"Sí, mi
he
error, soy
said,
un
yes, my
pecador,
fault,
yo
yes,
no
I'm a
merezco ir
sinner, I
allá,
do not
sí,
deserve to
sí,
go there,
mátame."
yes, kill me.
Estuvieron de acuerdo
They were
con la
in
regla.
agreement with the rule.
A ver si me entienden.
Let's see if
Yo
you
quiero que
understand me.
repitan este
I
tema
want you to
muchas
repeat
veces.
this subject many
Si
times
en
and
tu
watch it over
inner
again,
core,
over and over.
dentro
If
de
you're
tu
in your
interior, en
core,
tu alma,
within your
tú estás de acuerdo
soul,
que
you
ciertas
are in
personas
agreement that
merecen la
certain
muerte
people
para
deserve
siempre,
life, death
en realidad la
forever,
estás mereciendo
then
para ti
actually
la
you're
muerte.
you're
Es un
wanting it for
reflejo.
yourself. It is a
Si
reflection.
tú dices, "Ese
If
es
you
un
say,
pecador",
that guy's a
es porque
sinner,
tú
it
eres
is
un
because
pecador.
you're a
Y
sinner.
estamos frente a la ley
And
del
we're
espejo,
before
que ves
the
reflejado
law of
tus,
the
eh,
mirror that
tipo
you
de
see reflected in you, your type of
tendencias
tendencies or
o
actions
actos en otras
or
personas,
acts in other people
o características.
or
Y cuando
characteristics.
tú ves
And
reflejado
when you see
características que
reflected
no te
characteristics
gustan de
that you
ti,
don't like about yourself, When you see characteristics that you don't like about yourself reflected in other people, you criticize them. You criticize them. And that is where we get the phrase here, the dead person is laughing out of the beheaded fool, or is scared of the beheaded. The dead person is afraid of the beheaded person. When you see characteristics that you don't like about yourself and they see it reflected in others, they say, wow, that guy's dog shit, look at what he does. And internally, you're blaming yourself. When you point that way, you're blaming yourself the entire time. So then, the people that are in agreement that there's a group of people that are evil that have to die, actually what they're saying is, I have to die forever. And if someday some God has mercy on me or has mercy on me, well, then fine, let it be. May the grace of Christ cover me, but if it were because of me, and then it's undeserving of the grace. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, I'm telling you all the contrary. I believe that if I don't deserve something, it is death. If there's anything that I do not deserve, it is death. I deserve eternal life from here and forever. If I die because of some circumstance, it's things that I'll have to forgive God about. But I do not deserve to die. Not 1 second, not for a second, not 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 3 days, nor 1,000 years. I do not deserve to die. I was not born to die. And if anything happens with my life, it'll be a point that's difficult to forgive Yahweh. I could care less about the fucking excuse. No, because it was convenient. No, you can shove all those excuses well up your ass. Well up your ass. Because I will not accept them. Let Moses accept them, that's fine. Because he was an idiot, or Moses, that's fine. I could care less. But for Abraham to accept them, I could care less. That everyone accepted him, and they resignate themselves. They resign to accept that. Yes, if there's something that we know is that we have to die. Okay, I rebel against all that, and I say, if there's something that I do not accept, is that I have to die. I do not accept that ever again. If you kill me, it's a crime. If you take my life out, it's a crime. It is a crime that you'll have to pay. Yahweh, you're going to have to pay for it. Just like that, you're going to have to pay for it. In a case, and a court, because I don't want anyone's death. I'm sick and tired of the injustices. I'm sick and tired of this whole game. I have to fight against you. I will not accept one fucking law nor a fucking commandment of yours. Not even that one about, you have to die. No, I don't have to die. You want to kill me, kill me. And you're already killing me. By being older, you're killing me because I don't have the muscle mass that I had before. And I'm already sick and tired. I don't even know whether to forgive you because you're killing me little by little. This better be done, but soon. But the internal war that I have against Yahweh is declared. I should not die. If something happens with me, I'll be resurrected again by my own. I don't want to say power, but my own way of thinking. Because the grave cannot retain me by the justice that goes past in me. So then, even if God plays the card, the voodoo card that he has, and he wants to kill me, my own justice, creation itself will say, Yahweh, you messed up. You have to resurrect him. Why? Because he should not have died. He wanted everyone's life. You can kill all those that accept their own death. I do not accept my own death. Not because I don't want to die, but because I do not deserve to die. Because many say, I also don't want to die, but I'm a son of a bitch. But no. That is not the case that I do not want to die. I do not deserve to die because I do not want anyone to die, and I want to give everyone life. That already projects in me to a different dimension. I want to know if you're understanding the concept that I'm handling here. If in my mind I were to have the urge to kill people, then I should die. I mean, he wanted to die, kill him. He wanted to kill, then kill him. He wanted to kill, then kill him. Because he wanted to kill. He wanted for there to be a hell. He wanted for a destruction to happen. He wanted for the evil to be punished. No, I don't want. I want for those that are good to learn to be the evil people to learn to be good. It is not a punishment just because of a punishment. It is a school to learn. But they all have to deserve life. They deserve life and they must have life because I feel what life is. So then if somebody takes my life on top of being a son of a bitch, you know who I'm talking about. They have to give it back to me because all of creation will say, hold on, that one. That one. You cannot keep him there in the grave. You can't keep him there in the grave because the guy is life. And I am. I am life. Period. Second thing in which I must have my faith entirely is in those that think the way that I think, which are in the group of us. The same thing as when you used to think in a church in that group. Well, I think now in all those that think like I do. All those that have in their mind life. All those that say I am, but I really am. I am. I am. I could care less if Yahweh kills me. He has to resurrect me. And he has to resurrect me by my own justice, not because of his justice and not by grace. Grace, let him shove it up his ass. I don't even want his grace. I don't want anything to be given to me by grace, nor do I want it to by someone else's grace. I want by my own justice, by my justice, by my person. I am. The righteous shall live by his faith. Do you understand the phrase? He shall live. He that is just, he shall live by himself. The just, who was not made just by another, who did not receive the imputed justice of another, but rather that he's just, the righteous by his faith, he shall live. So then, which is the faith of the righteous? He has faith in himself. The righteous doesn't have faith in God. The one that has faith in God is not righteous. He's waiting for God's justice. He's waiting for God to give him a justice that he does not have. That is why he has faith in God. Because he says, without God, I am nothing. I am lost. I need the imputed justice of God. So then I'll place my faith in him because he will give me something that I don't have. But clearly the text says the righteous is already righteous and believes himself to be just. By his faith he shall live. So then the faith of the righteous is in yourself, not in God, in yourself. The faith of the righteous is also deposited as a second in us. All those that believe like us have my faith. Do you know why? Because if I'm the only one that thinks this way and I didn't find anyone else that thinks like I do, I die, and I know that I'm alone. I'll resurrect because of my justice, but nobody will be thinking about me. Nor my words had any effect in anyone. Now, if there is a group that we think the same, that they feel the words by the same equally, and they say, I am. That I believe not just in myself, but I believe in this group. That I believe in this group. And now I'll put a name on this group because it's our group. Everyone apply this however you wish. Or wherever. But I speak for a group that is our group. I believe in myself and I believe in the eternal truth. I believe in LVE. I believe. I believe and I deposit my faith in me and in the faith of the eternal truth. Not just because of me. First because of me. Then in all those that think like me, because we're no longer one, we start to multiply. We're a group. We're a group. And that group, it is when Elohim says, this is the group that took me 6,000 years to make. I had to twist them, crush them, insult them, and rape them, burn them, so that a group to say,
lo que está diciendo
what he's
Cristo.
saying, what Christian is saying.
Ese grupo
That group deserves
que le dé el control
for me to
de
give
la
him
tierra.
the control of the earth.
Porque si se me planta
Because
a mí
if I
en defensa
decide
toda
in
la
defense
tierra, no de
of
un
all the
grupito,
earth, not just a little
de
group,
toda la
of
existencia
all the
humana,
human
puedo
existence,
descansar, dice
I can
Yahweh,
rest, Yahweh
de que van a
says,
hacer un buen
that
trabajo.
they'll do a good
No se
job.
plantan a mí
It's not that they
defendiéndose ellos
tell
solos y el
me
resto tan
defending
mal.
themselves
No,
if the rest is
este
wrong.
grupo
No, this group,
se planta ante mí
they stand
contra
before
mí
me, against
y me
me,
dice
and they
que
tell
toda
me
la humanidad
that all of humanity
merece vivir.
deserves to live.
No tengo otra.
I don't have any other
Y es lo que
choice,
estaba buscando,
and that is what I was
de
looking
entregarle el
for,
control a ellos,
to give them the
porque
control
está en
over
buenas
to them,
manos.
because it's in good hands.
¿Comprenden lo que digo?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Cualquier otro grupo,
Any other group
dice Yahweh,
would say
que venga a
Yahweh,
decirme, nosotros
that
creemos
comes and
en
tell
ti,
me,
nosotros
Yahweh would say, we
creemos
believe
en
in you,
tus
we believe in
leyes,
you
oh
and your
Señor,
laws,
Dios
O Lord
nuestro.
our
Nos
God.
arrodillamos delante
We
de
kneel
ti, te
before you,
adoramos,
we
te
worship
cantamos
you, we
himnos,
sing songs to
nos
you,
sometemos a ti
we
y
submit unto
estamos en
you,
contra
and
de
we're
todos
against
esos
all those
desobedientes y
disobedient
realmente no
people,
vemos la hora
and
que
actually
los
we can't
quemes
wait
con
for you
tu
to
ira.
burn them with your
No quiero esa mierda.
wrath. No, I don't want that dog shit.
Eso
That's
no es
what
lo
I'm
que
looking
ando
for.
buscando. Ando buscando
I'm
otra
looking for
cosa.
something else.
Le llego a entregar la
If I
tierra a
give
este,
the
no
earth
queda
to this guy,
nadie.
no one's
Y
left.
después van
And
a
then
querer
later, they'll want to
aplicar
apply
toda esta injusticia que,
this whole
que
injustice
diseñé y
that I
desarrollé por 6.000
developed for
años.
6,000
Ese
years.
no es el plan.
That's not the plan.
Ese no
That's
es el
not the
plan.
plan. And
Y
if
si
they would
ellos
read
leyeran
the
la Biblia,
Bible,
se darían cuenta
for
que yo
2
me voy a
seconds they would
descansar
notice
por
that
1000
I go
años y
and
entrego
rest
la
for 1,000
tierra.
years and I give the
Y
earth
eso
over.
sería un
And that would be a
desastre.
disaster.
Un terrible
A
final
terrible
para mi
end for my
creación.
creation.
Si yo creé
If I
todo
created
y
everything
hice todo
and I made this whole
juego,
game,
pero en realidad
but
estoy
actually I'm planning,
desde el
I planned
principio
it from the
resucitar
beginning
a
to
todos.
resurrect
Pero
everyone.
necesito
But I need
que al que yo le
that the
entregue,
one
que
that I hand
considero
over,
mi
which I consider
hijo,
to be my son,
o los hijos
or
de
the sons of
Elohim,
Elohim,
o mi esposa,
or my
o el
bride,
hijo del
or
hombre,
the son
todos
of man,
los
or like
nombres
all
que
the
dan.
names that they give.
Necesito que
I need for
ellos
them to
entiendan el
understand
juego,
the game,
quieran
and
resucitar
they
a
would want to
todos
resurrect
y se
everyone,
planten
and
contra
they
mí
go against
para
me,
que sepan que
so
estoy
that they
actuando
know
mal.
that I'm acting
Y que me
incorrectly,
digan,
and for them to
"Metete
tell
tus
me,
reglas en
shove
el culo",
your rules up
empezando
your
con la
ass,
Torah.
starting with the Torah.
Necesito eso.
That's what I need.
Mientras no tenga
As
eso,
long as I don't
acá
have
sí.
that, then I'll
Quemando
stay
Los
here,
Ángeles, lo
burning
próximo
Los
va a ser
Angeles,
quizás
and the next
mejor
thing,
no diga nada, porque
no, I'm
yo
not
diría,
going to give any
"Vaya,
ideas,
voy a
and Yahweh's going to go do it.
Me estaban
They
recordando acá que
reminded
yo una
me
vez
here
dije
that
en el
one day in
2011,
2011 I
¿lo
said,
dije en video
did
eso
I
o
say
no?
it in
No sé,
video or
ahora me
no?
dicen,
Tell me.
en video lo
Did I say
dije.
that in video?
Personalmente a ustedes. Me
Oh,
estaban
they
recordando acá que en
reminded
el
me that back in
2011 con otras
2011 with different
ideas, cuando
ideas,
no era un hijo de
when I was
Elohim,
not a
sino
son of
un
Elohim,
hijo
but
de
rather
Elohim, pero en otro
a son of
sentido,
Elohim
o sea, un
in a
hijo de
different
puta en ese
sense, a son of a
aspecto de
bitch in that
que
sense,
los malos
for
mueran.
wanting
Yo
for the
decía,
wicked to
yo
be
en la gran
killed.
tribulación voy a estar
I was saying,
sentado en el
in the
patio
Great
de mi casa
Tribulation, I'm
mirando
going to
cómo se
be
incendia
watching
todos los
all of
ángeles.
Los
Así dije,
Angeles
¿no?
burn
Mirando el
from
gran
the house,
incendio de
from
Los
my
Ángeles.
house. That's what I
Y
said right in
resulta que ahora me lo
2011, and they just
recordaron y dijiste,
reminded
vos
me. They
dijiste
said, you
eso,
said that,
y ahora lo estuviste
and now you
viendo por YouTube,
watched
pero lo
them
estuviste
on
viendo.
YouTube, but you were watching them.
Y lo estuve viendo al patio de
And
mi,
also
de mi
from
casa
the
porque no
back
había
of my
electricidad y
my
solamente el teléfono
backyard,
tenía
because there's no
señal en el
electricity,
patio.
and the
Así
phone
que
only
estaba
had
allá afuera,
a
mirando los
signal
incendios.
in my backyard,
En mi
and I was
teléfono.
sitting there watching everything on my phone.
Me hicieron recordar
They
eso. Dije,
reminded
wow,
me
yo
of that.
dije
I said,
eso.
wow, I said that? Oh no, how angry.
¿Cómo cambió mi
How
forma
my
de
way of
pensar,
thinking
¿no?
has
Cómo
changed,
se
right?
fue
How it has
dirigiendo
been
hacia
directed
otro lado
elsewhere
completamente
that's
diferente.
completely
Yo les
different. I've
dije
told
que
you that
si Cristo
if
no nace,
Christ, if
Cristo
that
no
Christ
venía
does not
el
come
15 de
on
Tirsi, yo tiraba
Tishri
toda la
15th, I
mierda.
would
Yo lo dije.
cast everything to the garbage, and I fulfilled that. I
Absolutamente
cast
todo.
everything to the garbage can. Absolutely everything.
Segunda
Second
persona
person
o grupo
or group
es
is
creer
to
en
believe in
nosotros.
us.
En
In
este
this
caso,
case, to
creer
believe
en
in
la
the eternal
verdad
truth
como
as
grupo.
a group.
Como
As a group.
grupo. Porque
Because
ese
that
grupo
group
va a ser un
will be
grupo de
a group
reyes.
of kings. To
Creerlo
believe
eso.
that.
No
Not
solamente
just
venir
to
y
come and
escucharme,
listen
qué
to me.
bonito,
Oh,
a
how
ver cómo se
pretty. Let's see
convierte
when
que-
it all
No.
comes
Ya
true.
lo estamos
No, we're
cumpliendo
already
ahora.
fulfilling it now.
Aunque muramos
Even
todos,
if we all
no
die,
nos quita nadie lo
no
bailado y se va a cumplir.
will take away what
Muertos,
we have
vivos,
lived.
esto se va a cumplir.
This will be fulfilled. Whether we're
Porque
dead or
la
alive, it'll be
creación,
fulfilled because creation,
la fuerza
the
creadora
creating
no puede
force cannot
retenernos.
retain us.
Cuando tenemos
When we
vida
have life
y
and
deseamos
we
vida,
desire
no puede
life alive. He cannot retain us. Third group, which could be, I've already said third entity in which we should deposit our faith. I've already said faith in us. In other words, I am. We are. I am. We are. And the third one, it's not God. You're wrong. Because maybe in your mind, if I would give you a test, all of you a test, tell me 4 things that we have to have faith in. I think that I don't know what percentage of you would say first faith in God, then in I don't know what, maybe faith in Christian, I don't know, just whatever, in my dog, I don't know, you can put anything down. You can have faith in me? Yeah, of course you can have faith in me, but of course you have faith in me, myself. Why aren't you going to have faith in me? Aside from that, we're friends and you like me. I have faith, I don't know, in Messi, sometimes, and when he fails me, I insult him and say, you fucking idiot, why didn't you kick it right? But when he wins, yes, I have faith in Messi. Of course we have faith in other human beings. Where you should not deposit your faith in is in God, because he does not fulfill his word for now. You're like, what am I listening to? First of all, I am. Second of all, we are. Third of all, do you know where I have my faith placed in? In humanity entirely. What does that mean? What it means is that I know that this humanity entirely in its as a whole will answer absolutely well when the truth is told to them, when their curses are taken away, because humans in their essence, they have good and evil, but they incline towards what's good. And when they receive healing from their mind, from all the shocks that they have received, in their life, of all the lies they've received in their life, everyone will react to live eternally well. So then I have faith in all of humanity, all of it entirely, in its, as a whole. And as a third measure, as a fourth measure, or fourth entity, faith in Yahweh. In that order, under no possibility will he be in first or second place. You put him wherever you want. But the reality is, we fight against God. We have to overcome and win this game. This game is life and death. What side am I on? We're all going to live, but we could be on the side of the losers or the winners. The winners. What means the faith in God? What it means is that I understand everything that he's doing. I no longer comprehend it, why it stretches so much. There are things that he has to explain to me in order for me to be able to understand them, and with time, that is. And as lastly, faith in him, because he's such a liar, father of lies, that he even lied to us. He could have lied to us in that he's going to just give us anything. What if God says, but I mean, you knew that I was the king of lies. You really thought that I was going to give you the earth, hand the earth over to you and stop having fun. You know how much fun I had burning Los Angeles? I mean, I was just dying with laughter, and I wanted more wind, and I would blow. And I would burn and burn and burn. I had so much fun. And in my agenda, I have a whole quantity of things planned. Because I have fun that way. What if God were that way? What if God were that way? Is the possibility there? Completely. Completely, there's the possibility. Does that change our future? No, it doesn't change our future. Because whether we die or we live, if we're going to die, let us swear with glory to die. Not on behalf of Yahweh, and not trusting Yahweh, trusting in ourselves, just like that. And if we trust in ourselves, when you have a problem, if you trust in yourself, for example, if you had your house here in the places in Palisade or Palisadas, like they say it in Spanish, or in different places of Los Angeles that burned down, if you would go out and pray, Lord, please protect my house, your house was for sure that it would get burned even more, because you're an idiot. The only chance was to trust in yourself and to stay and to tell the neighbors also. Something else that I want to speak about was, for example, it would be nothing difficult because we're talking about houses of millions of dollars. It would not be any difficult to not allow for the roofs to be made, for example, in those such dangerous houses where there's so many trees. Dangers of forest fires. It should not affect anything else. But the government should say, no, I'm not going to let you to build with shingles. You have to build with cement. And you're going to recover with a substance not flammable, the fascia board, entirely by the code of construction. Or instead of wood, a material that is not flammable. How many material is there that can not be flammable? It would never happen again. Nothing would be set on fire because there's nothing to be set on fire. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? If I have a brick, it does not set on fire. Now, if I have something that's wood, it will be set on fire. So then we're talking about not of poverty, but of extreme riches. And instead of paying the thousands of dollars that you pay for the insurances, if the government would say, look, it'd be better to build with this material, the flammable part of the house, with that, not one sole house will be set on fire. Yeah, there will happen things like if there's a short circuit inside, of course, there are fires like that, but not that the whole neighborhood is set on fire. The house can be set on fire, not the neighborhood. Or else every time there's a fire in Los Angeles, why doesn't the whole neighborhood is set on fire? That doesn't, don't say the winds because it's not the winds. Please don't say stupid shit. Please don't say stupid shit. If you don't know, I'm here to educate you. So then, what's important about having in oneself, either I pay for it or I die trying. A Christian said, no, we should not have any possessions. Then don't buy a house, you son of a bitch. Don't even buy it. Because the Christians come and say, oh, God, and now you think about God now, you son of a bitch. Oh, now you think about God. Yeah, the God that you worship, Christians told you not to buy a house. Sell your house and give it to the poor. So then why are you buying a house? And now you remember God, you son of a bitch. No, try to think a little bit and you turn off the fire. Don't be such a faggot and leave. Well, I've just told you just a summation of the fire in Los Angeles. I don't know what you have heard in the news, but I think I've given you very good summation of how the fires start. This is not real, okay? It's not real. What happened? Don't ask me. This is not real. A neighborhood is not burned down, the whole thing. It's a lie. It's a lie. Now, did it burn? Yes, it did burn. I can show you, but it's a lie. It is a lie that a house was set on fire after another. Here, there's something that goes way past, and I blame Yahweh completely. First of all. Second of all, I want for you to augment the faith in yourself. In yourself. Sometimes certain people write to me and say, Christian, I think that I have problems. Start to have less problems by thinking who you are. Don't pray God so much and pray to yourself. How do you pray to yourself? By having therapy. That is what it is to pray to yourself, to do tapping. That's a prayer to yourself, a prayer that will help you a lot. To pray, what's going on with me? Why do I feel envy? Why do I feel fear? I have to take the fear out of me. Why do I feel angry? Why do I feel this insatisfaction? Why do I feel this and that? Start to speak to yourself. Pray with yourself. Pray. Pray with yourself. What is it to pray with yourself? To speak, have a dialogue with yourself. Don't waste time speaking to God. He won't listen to you. He won't even answer. When was the last time he answered? Tell me. Every time he said, oh, dear God, please number him for me. We're all about asking him, and when we receive one, oh, thank God, God answered it. And all the ones that you don't receive, oh, because God said no. Because it wasn't convenient for me. Stop fucking around with that. Speak with yourselves. Speak with yourselves. Speak with your group. That I know, God never sent you money when someone died of your lineage, and you had to bury him. No money came signed by Yahweh. In any case, if we helped you, it was us. God didn't come. If you helped me to buy a computer, which, by the way, I have to buy another now, because this one has 10,000 problems. Last one we bought was back in 2018. I remember you helped me buy it. We bought this computer, you helped me buy it, and I think that it should be better to change it because I see things that sometimes fail and I get so angry. Sometimes we start late, but God didn't help me to buy it. You helped me. The day that I receive a check from God, I'll let you know. I received a check that apparently it says that it comes from an unknown place. And the bank cashed it, but I don't know. Money falls from heaven, I'll tell you. I was just standing there and I thought it was a bird, but no, and I saw that it was gold falling from heaven. I don't know. Let's stop with the stupidity. If somebody helps you here, it is you, and then later the group, and then humanity. You know how many things humanity has done for you? You can't even number them. How many times did humanity help you? They give you a job, they give you money, they give you a place to live. It gives you the possibility of having things, because humanity thought that it'd be better to have a computer. It wasn't God. Humanity thought that it would be good to have electricity. It wasn't God. Humanity thought that it'd be good for you to have a type of cheaper clothing. It wasn't God, it was the Chinese in this case. And that they give it to you very cheap, and you can pay for it because if they would make it in your country, it'd be so much more expensive. But there's some Chinese guys that work. And they make a good quality, maybe mid-quality, you can buy a whole bunch of things. The roads that are maintained, the lights, because it'd be so difficult to drive here. But there are people that sweep, and they bring you food, they pick up your garbage. When did you go get water for yourselves? So in humanity, we've helped us amongst ourselves, and I thank man, not God. Just like that, I thank man, not God. What comes from God? What I just read in this text that says, there's no evil that does not overcome the city that has not been provoked or designed by Yahweh. Wow. Tremendous. Texts. Christians. My most esteemed Christians. I've already found the text. It's not that I found it because I read it every Shabbat. That says exactly who burned Los Angeles down. Does any misfortune come to a city if it had not been provoked by Yahweh? No. Nope. Who provoked the misfortune of Los Angeles? Yahweh did. Was the government? Nope. If the government did it, it was because Yahweh commanded them to do so, not because they wanted to, but because Yahweh commanded them, just like Judas. When you clearly see through the drops, the oil that I offer your eyes, when you clearly see it, you'll understand where you have to place your faith in us, in the group, in humanity, and lastly, in Yahweh. And that low faith in Yahweh is to tell him, have faith as a last resource that you will fulfill one of these dates, because you're already past due. They're already past due, but we, from here on out, 2025, I will start to augment my faith. Augment our faith, they would ask God. I tell you, augment your faith. But in you, you can. I am. When someone that is sick of any ailment, they pray to Yahweh, the question is, do they get cured? No. No. If that person that is sick believes just by chance, with such a tremendous faith that Yahweh was going to do something for him, then he himself cured himself. Yahweh didn't do a damn thing. He himself, by having faith in the God that he has in his mind, he accepted his curation, his healing, and he starts to self-heal. Exactly. Your faith healed you. When Peter was walking in the water,
perdió la fe,
and he lost his faith. He drowned. He started to drown, but he lost the faith in whom? In himself. Because God gave him a power, but he lost faith in himself. Yahweh had to come and rescue him. It works in the very same way. Now, now that we already know how our organism works, do you think that with just a prayer you can fix an evil that you know that you have to work with, that it's a conflict that you have? That is why you have to augment the faith in yourself. The day that we augment the faith in ourselves, you know what augments? Our power. If we do not have faith in ourselves, we don't have any power whatsoever. That is applied in all the disciplines. If I don't have any faith that I can make a house, then no, I don't even have the power of doing it. But if I say I can do it, then I already have the power, and of course I can do it. My power starts to grow. Of course I can do it. So then once we augment the faith in ourselves individually, augment our power, it augments our power, and we teach our subconscious mind to be a subconscious that's even more powerful. Because we start to align with our subconscious and our conscious. Every time that what I was talking to about at the beginning, we have to empower ourselves. Have you heard about that? How do we empower ourselves? By believing in ourselves. If you do not believe in yourselves, then a contrary effect starts to happen. You devalue yourselves. And you do not want to know how evil it is to devalue yourself, or the pain that you'll go through, and you'll die. In Germanic medicine, we clearly know all of the hurt that the devaluation causes. In the blood, you get anemia, to the other sickness that I want to mention. I don't want to mess with them, but it's the sickness in the blood, which the people die of. And even more, those that set themselves in the hands of the religion of the white robe. You know what it is to have faith in oneself and to have faith in a priest of the white robe. When I go to the white robe priest and I tell him, what do I have, Mr. Whatever. Dear priest, dear doctor, he says you have this, this, and that. Where did he place his faith in what he's saying? Where did he place his faith? In the analysis that he gave him, and he gave him the diagnosis and how long it is left? Forget it. That right there, I mean, not even God takes that away from within. Now, if you have faith in yourself, then that's it, it's over. Oh, my heart hurts. I'm not going to go to the white robe priest. If I die, let me die, or else I'll heal it myself. But I'm not going there. Let that religion walk me there. And if I have to die, then I'm going to get so upset because of whoever let me know. Then if I have to find out that it's the recuperation of something, then generally it's not going to be any of that, but it's because of panic that you say, oh, there's you enter into anxiety. When you develop your faith in yourself, the day that you die, you're going to die with dignity, just like that, with dignity, and not in the hands of a white robe priest, because you should not fear death at all. The guy that wants to take my life should fear. He should be terrified, whether it's God or a human being. He better fear me. But I have no fear in losing. When you have no fear of losing your life, then there's nothing for you to lose and everything to earn, just like that. The root of fear is the fear of death. If you lose the fear of death, it says, I have power to resurrect myself. Whether it's true or not, believe it. Believe it. And make your subconscious mind believe it. Who am I? I am. I am what? Resurrection and life. But you must be crazy. You have a messianic conflict. What do you care? I'm speaking with my brain. I do whatever the fuck I want. I am.
Y voy a vivir más feliz que tú.
And I'll be even
Estás
happier than you
aterrorizado
that
de
are
que te
terrified
mueres,
that
que
you're
estás
dying
pidiéndole,
and that you're asking
vida o
for
perdón
life
o
or pardoning
misericordia
or
a un
mercy
ser que ni te
to a
escucha.
being that doesn't even
Yo
listen
soy,
to you. I
yo
am.
soy.
I
Muero
am.
cuando yo quiero,
I die
vivo
whenever I
y
want, and I
resucito cuando
live
se
and
me
I
canta la
resurrect
bola.
whenever
Yo
the
soy.
fuck I want.
Me lo creo
I am. To
100%.
believe it, it's impossible.
Vivo mucho más feliz.
I live
No
even
dependo
more
de un
happy.
Dios.
I don't depend
No
on a
dependo
God. I don't
de un
depend
Salvador.
on a Savior.
Dependo de mí.
I depend on myself.
Porque aún yo
Because even
muriendo
I
voy
dying,
a
I
resucitar.
will resurrect.
Destruyan este
Whether they
cuerpo y lo
destroy
reconstruyo
this
en 3
body,
días.
and I'll bring it up back up in 3 days.
anima
Oh
a
yes.
decir
Oh,
eso?
how does he dare
Porque
to
yo
say
soy.
that? Because I am.
Por eso,
That's why
yo soy.
I am.
Así es.
That's the way it is.
Espero
I hope
que hoy han
that
aprendido
you
algo.
have learned something today.
Yo tengo fe
I have faith
que
that
en LB, eso iba a decir.
faith in LVE, that's what I
Yo
was going to
tengo
say.
fe en
I
LB.
misformulated. I have faith in
Yo tengo
LVE.
fe
I have faith
en ustedes.
in you.
Si no los tuviera
If
ustedes
I didn't have
como
you
conjunto,
as a group,
podría
I could,
hacerme en algún futuro
in
dudar
some
mi
future,
propia.
it could
fe
even
en
make
mí.
me doubt my own
Pero
faith,
al
faith
ser
in myself. But because
más de uno,
it's more than one,
con lógica,
with logic,
que ustedes
that
entiendan
you
esto,
understand this,
ahí viene
here comes
la frase,
the
la
phrase,
unión hace
union
la
makes
fuerza.
the strength.
Porque
Because
estamos hablando de
we're
fuerzas
talking about
invisibles,
invisible
que es la fe,
forces, which is faith,
que es la vida,
which is life,
que es la resurrección.
which is resurrection.
No hay ser humano
There's no human
que
being
haya muerto,
that has ever died,
excepto uno,
except for one,
hasta este momento,
up
que
until
dijo,
now, that said,
creyéndolo
by believing
Yo
it,
muero,
if I
yo
die,
resucito.
I'll resurrect
por mí mismo.
by myself.
El último que dijo
The
eso
last one
resucitó.
that said that he resurrected.
Los demás
The rest,
dijeron
they said,
hasta luego,
later,
esperando que
waiting
Dios
for
me
God
venga a resucitar.
to come and
Tengo
resurrect
fe
me. I have
en
faith
Cristo Jesús
in Christ
y a la
Jesus,
mierda.
and then fucked
Nadie
off
dijo
to
yo
death.
soy Cristo Jesús.
No one says, I am Christ Jesus and resurrected.
Y si alguno dijo
And if one
que era un
ever said that he
Cristo,
was a
no lo
Christ,
creció realmente, no
he didn't
entendió,
really
no
believe it,
entendió
didn't
ni quién
understand
era
it,
Dios,
didn't
no
understand
entendió
who
nada.
was God, he didn't understand
En
anything.
este momento hay un
In this
grupo
point in
de
time, there's a
personas
group of people
que entendieron lo que
that
la
have
Biblia dice,
understood what the Bible
que
says.
justo por su fe
The
vivirá.
righteous shall
Que
live
tiene
by
fe en
faith,
él.
to have in oneself,
tiene que
faith in
aprender a
oneself, and he has to learn to
desarrollarla
develop it
más.
more.
Por eso les hablé este tema.
That's what I talked to you about this
que
subject,
en realidad es para que
that
tú
actually it is
desarrolles
for
fe
you
en
to
ti.
develop faith in yourself.
El único
The
que te
only
puede
one
salvar
that
de
can
algo
save you
eres tú.
of anything is yourself.
tú.
It is you.
Y después en
And
segundo
afterwards,
lugar,
second
es
of
tu
all,
grupo,
it is your
que
group
cree como tú,
that believes like you
que es
do,
tu linaje.
which is your lineage.
Y en tercer
And
lugar, es
third
la
of all,
humanidad.
it is humanity.
Y como último
And
recurso,
lastly,
cuarto,
and
que
fourth
juega el
resource
rol
that plays the
del
role
que nos quiere matar
of the
a
ones that
todos,
kill us all,
excepto que
except
entendamos
that
esto,
we understand
es
this,
Yahweh.
is Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Yahweh
es el creador,
is the creator,
es el jugador,
is the player.
está jugando un
He's playing
solitario
a solitary
y
game,
sus piezas se
and
le
his
tienen
pieces
que dar
have to turn
vuelta.
on him.
Y la verdad
And the
eterna
eternal
se le
truth
dio vuelta.
has
Y
turned
dijo,
on him
acá el
and said,
culpable
here,
eres
the
tú,
one to blame is
el
you.
que quemó Los
The one
Ángeles
that
eres
burned
tú.
Los Angeles is
En
you.
Yom Kippur te pusimos
In
la
Yom
culpa
Kippur,
y
we
también te
put all the
ponemos
blame
la de
upon
Los
you,
Ángeles
and we
y
also
todo lo
blame
que
you
pasa
that
a
of Los
partir de ahora.
Angeles and
Es
anything that
hora
happens from
de
here on out. And it is
que
time
cumplas
for
tus
you to
promesas.
fulfill your own
Te
word.
quiero agradecer
I want to thank
estos regalos que
for
llegaron
these
también
gifts that
ya hace 2
arrived.
semanas.
It's been 2 weeks
a
already.
Jesse,
I want to ask
Dani
Jesse,
y
Danny, and Jesse
Ogando.
Ogando.
Dani
Danny and Jesse
muchísimas
Ogando,
gracias.
many
Estos
thanks.
son,
These
se
are,
llama
it's called
Smokehouse,
Smokehouse
Grill Spice.
Grill Spices.
¿Cómo?
Excuse me?
Especie.
Oh,
perdón,
spices,
dice
yeah,
en español,
spices in
especie.
Spanish. Spices.
Especies.
Spices.
De todos los sabores,
Out of
un
all the
poquito de cada una
flavors,
para
a
que
little bit of
hagas
each
unos
one so
buenos
that you make
steaks
some good steaks
con diferente. Por
with
ejemplo,
different, for example,
tiene
it's
chipotle,
got
Caribbean,
Chipotle,
Southwest,
Caribbean, Southwest, Montreal, Memphis,
garlic,
garlic,
chili,
chili,
parsley,
chili parsley,
Chris,
Chris. No, I'm just playing.
LVE, thyme,
LVE,
jalapeño.
thyme,
No tiene
jalapeño,
esos
no.
gustos faltan, pero esos gustos se los doy yo. Pero una
Those are
cantidad
the
de
ones I'm going to
gustos
give you, but it's got a whole bunch
espectacular.
of different
Muchísimas gracias, Dani
tastes.
y
Many
Jesse.
thanks, Danny and
Y
Jesse.
también llegó
And also,
esta
we've got
caja,
this box.
que si no fuera
If
por
it
Leslie, ya
weren't
me
because
hubiera
of Leslie, I
olvidado,
would
¿no?
have forgotten. Excuse me?
Pepitoria estaba así por ahí.
Oh, yeah, it had some sesame seeds.
Llegó esto de
Okay, this
Nila.
arrived from Nila.
Muchísimas gracias,
Many
Nila.
thanks,
Esto
Nila.
para Angelina,
This is
que
for
no se lo di.
Angelina that I haven't
Es
given
una
it to her.
cadenita
It is a little
de
chain,
plata con unos pendientes
silver
también,
chain with Also, some earrings, and of course, it's for her birthday. I'm going to hand it over to her. It's like a little drop there with crystals. You can't see anything, right? You can't see it. And a little chain. Spectacular. This is for the birthday girl who is on her 23rd birthday. Wow. 23. What number is it? They say that it's a... Wow. It's a very good luck, very good. And also, and Nila, actually, I thank you for these cuñapé because I love them, especially this brand. The other brands are different. They're a little harder, less flavor. This one, San Javier, wow, I really want to make San Javier a saint. How delicious. Many thanks, Nila. God didn't send them to you. Nila sent them to me. I want you to know. They don't come from heaven, they come from Nila. And I enjoyed these cuñapés that are spectacular. Now, also, wow, these teas are so exquisite, tell the truth. With Leslie and I, we enjoyed the teas so much. The teas, delicious, and this tea is Fortnum and Mason. Mason, he said Mason. Christian. No, I said Christian. Christmas black tea. Well, Christmas is Chris's Mass, Chris's Mass, black tea. So then my next Mass, I'm going to drink this. And it has a little bit of clementine and other spices. It also has some spectacular spices. And then ginger biscuits, and also some very delicious biscuits. Exquisite, many things, Nila. Everything arrived perfectly well, spectacular. Don't ever forget that we love these cuñapé. Don't ever forget that we love them. And the teas, they must be what we enjoyed more, the teas, because wow, the biscuits are exquisite, but they really augment the I am in the balance. They augment even over augmented. And the tea, I enjoy it beastly so then I thank you way too much, so much for these gifts. Did I forget about showing one? I think it was just these two. It was just these two. And the soccer is about to begin. The championship. Boca bought a whole bunch of players. I think it's the one that was going to close it out today. It's a very good player today. He's older, Marchesín. He bought good players. Let's see what happens. We never know. But I have my hopes up while we're hoping. And the fourth option of our faith, which is Yahweh, while we wait to see what he does, or what he wants to burn now. What is he going to burn? I was going to give a city, but I'm not going to say it because it'll be fulfilled. Because just to make me feel look bad, because the other things that he should fulfill, he doesn't fulfill them. So if I say the city, I'm not going to say anything. But I think that he wants to continue to play that way. How did he start off this year? Is it that now? Because here we have a date, mind you. Don't forget Yom Kippur. Where we start to go against the witches that wanted to deceive us. And when we say those with the white robe are the worst ones, don't go to that church because they are dead churches from that date. Plus 2,300 even. If it is true, the words of Yahweh, if it's fourth option, if we can trust him, from the 5th of February, it is a little bit left. Let's see, let me tell you. How long is it? What is left is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. By February the 5th, the 2,300 days are up ever since this purification started of the temple. If Yahweh has any word whatsoever, and he wants to stop leaving his impression in the world by doing bad works and of fun, he could. The group that has life in himself, the group that says I am, and we are, to start to show that they are his children. He could. Starting from February 5th, and from then on out, any day. It could be Pesach, but already, I don't care already about his feast to the level of, I hope for Pesach, because right there, starting from February the 5th, 2,300 eves and morns are starting to. He should start to act. He should stop his fun already. And why? Because I believe that it is a plan. And I believe that this year he did start off strong. Kind of like, so as to say, look, it's a special year, mind you. Maybe Yahweh says, I did that just to call your attention to the whole world. I burned the most expensive place on earth, and that all the Christians and all, they applauded me. They said, no, you know what? Fuck off. I'm going to leave these groups of I am, and we are the authority. Wow, that'd be fantastic. If it is so, that's fine. We'll help the Angelinians to rebuild, because I get so upset that they lost their houses. My hope is in myself. My hope is in us. Don't forget to comment if you like this video, if it helped you in your life for anything. If at least you start to see life differently. We're in a game, we're playing a board game, and you have chosen to be our companion. We are in this team. As long as you do not leave, continue to play with us, because that game we have, if as my name is Christian, will defeat him. Semper Fi. Hallelujah to every one of you. Wholeheartedly, if it were up to me, any power in me, I would rebuild the house of every person that lost their homes, and I would return to life every person that died. Not just that, I will teach them that should never happen to them again. And I will replace the government because they're idiots or handled by Yahweh. It will not happen. What will happen is that someday the world will see the Elohim of justice in action. Psalms 78, 1 through 2. Hear, O my people, my law, and lean your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in Proverbs, and it will speak hidden things since times of old. A great big applause for each person of this group that believes in the I am, and that believes in we are, and that believes in humanity, and lastly, in Yahweh. A great big applause. The destiny is written. The end is inevitable. Quiet. Let the laurels be eternal that we knew how to achieve, crowned with glory. Let us live. Or we swear with glory to die. Hallelujah to every one of you. We'll meet again next Shabbat.